All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Hartman here. We're gonna get some drafts in today. Maybe talk about a little bit of the preseason news that was going on. We've been seeing a little bit of preseason action. Getting a little idea like who the starters will be on some teams, some of the usage, stuff like that. But I think we're gonna start it off. We're gonna hop right into a draft. We're probably gonna hop right into the puppy. Maybe do a couple of these today, and then maybe I might do a pit bull or something later as well. But we're gonna start out. We're gonna hop right into the puppy. We're gonna hop in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. All right, so we're in the puppy waiting for 8 if anyone wants to hop in. But yeah, I figured we can talk about a little bit of the preseason news today, a little bit of the usage. Obviously, we saw Jacoby Lane, one of the biggest hype machines in the NFL this year or in training camp this year. He's doing pretty well today. He has a touchdown already I saw earlier and then had a couple catches already. So we're already seeing some of the hype come true. We can go over here real quick. So yeah, Jacoby Lane today, he 3 catches, 38 yards and a touchdown. Got right on the field right away with the starters. Elijah Surratt 4 for 43, but like I don't think he was on the field right away. I think he had to wait a little bit to get on the field. Oops, sorry about that. But yeah, I don't think we really saw Elijah Surratt get on the field right away. So a little concerning there, I'd say. Not exactly what you want to see. But oh, sorry. Sorry. I pulled the board down for a second and we pulled it back up. But yeah, not exactly what I like to see as an Elijah Surratt bag holder, but Jacoby Lane looked pretty good today. So, nice to see that. I don't know. We could run through a couple other ones. The Browns, I guess, was kind of like a useful one. Just like it went as expected for the Browns, but just seeing that, Casey Conception, Denzel Boston, and Jerry Judy, they were the main receivers on the field, right? We saw Denzel Boston in the X role. We saw Casey in the slot. Obviously, like Jerry Judy's in there more in like the Z role, but I think we expected those three to be on the field, and that's what we saw right away. So that was nice to see. Um, for the Giants, we saw Malachi Fields get on the field with the starters. We saw him catch a touchdown, but more just kind of solidifying the reports that he is in that number 2 role to start out. He kind of has the inside track. So that was good to see for Malachi Fields. What else did we get? Sorry, I just want to look at the games. I remember like kind of the different stuff, but some of the games didn't mean too much. Jaguars Saints, neither one of them really played anyone too meaningful. Rams Chiefs, same thing. It was a little interesting to see like Ty Simpson, see Justin Fields. Justin Fields kind of cooked, but nothing too much to report in those games. Panthers Bills, we saw DJ Moore get twisted up a little bit on a tackle. We saw him like maybe pick up a little bit of an ankle injury, but they were saying afterwards it's nothing serious, should be good to go, like no minor injury. So hopefully that's not too big of a deal, but we did kind of see that. We saw Brooks get the start for the Panthers, obviously, but he didn't really do much with it. I'm not really worried about how the people performed per se. It's more just about like for certain teams who was getting the usage, who was getting on the field, especially if they were playing like starting quarterback, starting running back, stuff like that. Then I want to see like who was getting on the field to starters. For the Vikings, we saw Aaron Jones kind of get the start, and then we saw Jordan Mason get on the field, I think like the third play of the game. So they were kind of splitting it that first drive. I think for the Giants, we already talked Malachi Fields was on the field right away, but Tyrone Tracy and Scadaboo were splitting a little. Scadaboo started, but Tyrone Tracy did get on the field. Tyrone Tracy then, missed a huge blocking assignment and got Jackson Dart blown up. Jackson Dart had to go to the medical tent. So, not exactly what you like to see there. But yeah, that was pretty much it for those games. I don't think there was too much else today. I mean, if anyone's in the chat and like there was anything interesting that I kind of missed, let me know. And I know we saw some stuff the other day. Like we saw obviously like Cardinals Raiders. We saw Jeremiah Love look pretty good. He did pick up a little bit of an ankle injury, but doesn't sound like it'll be too big of a deal. But that one definitely sounds like more of a thing to monitor than like the DJ Moore situation even. Lions Bengals, nothing really happened that matters, I don't think. I mean, Samaje got a decent amount of snaps. That was kind of interesting. I think Samaje got like 30% of the snaps with the starters. So that was a little interesting. It does maybe make you worry just a little bit about Chase Brown. But nothing too big over there for that preseason game. And then, yeah, Titans, Niners, Dejon Stribling obviously cooked up. The hype is real for Dejon Stribling. Seems like the hype train will continue. We got First Down Fantasy in here. What's up, First Down Fantasy? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Love that BBM roster you did on Bio's channel today. I like teams like that in these big tourneys. Oh, I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, hey, always trying to, always trying to build the shipper. You were right next to me, right? Because I think we were back to back in that draft. So yeah, I think we both built some pretty nice teams. So I don't know. It's always like it's nice to hear, but it's also like it's always going to be tough in the stream lobbies, especially with like the BBMs in there. It's always going to be tough because I know the other teams in that lobby are built pretty well also. Um, Looks like I'm freezing a little, or maybe just the draft is. Let's see. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because I'm looking at my stream. I'm good. Oh, okay, there we go. That was weird. It like froze up for a second. Oh, we'll grab Malik Neighbors here for sure. And then I don't know. Let me look at my combos a little bit, maybe. I don't have much Rice with them. I do have a lot of Devonta Smith with them. I'm not a big Jeremiah Love guy. And especially with the injury concern right now, like it's not a major injury concern, but it is a little bit. Uh we can go Rashi. We can go Rashi. I feel like at this turn, I have been going actually a lot more Devonta Smith lately. I've just been buying in more to him kind of like taking over and really being that true alpha and everything. I would say though, like I had a lot of them already paired with Neighbors and Gibbs. So I wasn't totally wanting to do that pairing again. It's not like it matters a ton. I only had like 12% pairing with each player. But Rashi Rice, I don't really have him paired with Malik Neighbors very much. So it's nice to get a little bit different in that sense in my portfolio, I guess. Um, right now, I don't know. I have been kind of leaning Devonta Smith. It's not even so much like I know Rashi Rice kind of been looking like trash at camp, and I'm not even that worried about that. It's just more to me like they've been talking more and more about using Kenneth Walker in that receiving role. And I think we've been seeing it just like the little practice clip, stuff like that. But they have been talking about that and talking about using him more in that short area passing game. And that really worries me for Rashi, right? Because that's how he gets a lot of his usage. He's almost used like a running back in a sense, where like not like a running back, but he gets a lot of those like screen passes and really short area passes and is asked to like run after the catch with it, right? So if they have Walker, taking away some of that work, I feel like that could really hurt Rashi's role. Now, I will say though, Rashi, when he's been healthy, averages like, 16, 17 points per game. And that might be a full PPR stat, but his points per game are like elite. They're up there with first round level guys, right? I don't know. The more I think about it, it does worry me a little bit that Walker might kind of hurt his role more than we're giving it credit. But I think Rashi's current price, it's still fair enough. It still makes sense. It's just I'm feeling a little bit less into it ever since like the more Walker receiving hype there is, I feel a little bit less into the Rashi Rice bet. Oh, and then Egbuka too. I've noticed him falling a lot more. Like I've seen him a lot more towards the end of the third lately. Like the last day or two, because they announced he has like that toe injury, which I don't know. It sounds like there's a little bit of ambiguity around what it is exactly. Like I saw a report they're hopeful for week 1. I will say though, the Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles, like the way that he reports injuries, like you would think almost every player is dead the second they get hurt. Like for all we know, Emeka might be back at practice tomorrow, the way Todd Bowles reports injuries. But it is a little worrying, and especially with a toe injury, those things can linger. They can be one of those things where the guys play through it, but they're like just, their skills are like diminished, right? And I think maybe we did see that with Egbuka last year. I actually think that's a lot of the bull case for Egbuka is that we saw him kind of be diminished last year from a hamstring injury and all that, and that he fell off in the second half of the year because of all the injuries to him and Baker and the O-line, which I don't know. It is a little worrying. And then he already picks up an injury now. I haven't been very in on Egbuka at all, to be honest. I have like 2%. It's just been a tough buy for me, in this range where I feel like he's way less proven. He started out really, really hot for like 5 weeks, but then he really fell off after that. And like I said, there were a lot of injuries. There's lots of reasons to make excuses. I buy into the Buccaneers offense a lot, and I do like kind of agree with some of those excuses, but it just gets harder when the price gets here. Like a Mecca over Zay Flowers, Devonta Smith. It gets really hard for me because Devonta Smith is a proven, like, he's just a proven high level NFL receiver. And people seem to not think that because AJ Brown was there, I guess. But I don't know. He's proven it. Zay Flowers, he was a monster last year. He just needs the red zone role a little bit more, right? But like, or even to me, like Chris Olave. I mean, why would you pick a Mecca over Chris Olave? Like, I don't know, unless you're really worried that Jordan Tyson's going to be the alpha over Olave. But I think right now, when we look at the Saints offense, I mean, with Tyson picking up that hamstring injury, if anything, Olave should be moving up. And like, maybe not significantly, maybe I'm overrating the hamstring a little, but Jordan Tyson, that's like his fourth hamstring injury this year. The dude cannot stay on the field. And I don't know, when he had the hamstring earlier, it took him like 3 months to recover. There's the guy on Twitter, Jim, I think his name's Jim Miller. Sorry, let me make this pick. Oh, we'll go Loveland. Loveland's good here. Get a little pairing with my Detroit stack, get some game stack there, week 17. I do like Montgomery. Montgomery's a totally fine pick to me. I don't have him paired a ton with these guys. I don't mind Quinshawn, but I think the Browns offensive line is just terrible. It's gonna be really hard for Quinshawn to get there behind that offensive line. So let's go Loveland, Montgomery. Yeah, get the second running back, kind of lock that up. I do like some of the running backs at the 6-7 turn, but sometimes they get taken before you. Like, I don't ever mind grabbing like a Ramondre or a Pollard or something, but I'm not a big Jalen Warren guy. So I would prefer to like not be forced to kind of take a running back at that 6-7 turn. So grabbing Monty there, and that opens me up a little bit more to some other options. Hopefully I get like, I'd probably take a Caleb there with Loveland since I have the game stack. Maybe look at like some receivers or something, but we'll kind of see what makes it back. The Smitty, I'm in a keeper league redraft. I draft 10th. Should I keep Olave for my 7th pick, Purdy for my 8th, Javonte Williams for my 11th, or Monty for my 6th? Ooh, it's either Olave or Javonte. It's definitely not, or wait, it's not a super flex, right? Let me know if it's a super flex, Smitty. Do you start one quarterback or two? If it's one quarterback, then no way you keep Purdy. You definitely don't keep Purdy. It's between Javonte and Olave. Olave for a 7th, 10 team keeper. Um, I'm probably Olave for the 7th. If you get to, especially if you get to like keep on keeping them, 1 QB half PPR. Ooh, half PPR. That's tough. I maybe go Javonte. I think I go Javonte for the little bit cheaper price. Because receiver is just a deeper position in general. And in home leagues, running backs tend to get pulled up even more. Like on Underdog where we're drafting, like because we're doing the best ball, obviously, so it's a little different. But like Olave and Javonte go right next to each other in this. Like they go in a really similar range. Usually Olave goes just a little bit higher. But I think the 4 extra rounds you're getting and like the keeper value is probably worth it to keep Javonte. And in home leagues, running backs tend to go a little bit higher even still. So I'm probably going Javonte. And definitely not Purdy and definitely not Montgomery at that range. I would either keep Javonte or Olave and probably Javonte. First on fantasy, I was trying to not snipe, but also try to get my dudes LOL. Yeah. Hey, I mean, I will say, like, it's always one of those things where it's like if you can still build your team and not snipe, like that's great. But it's like at the end of the day, you should always build your best team. Like if you think even like an on-stat quarterback or something is gonna build your best team, you should always do that. That is the one thing with like kind of the whole community aspect or drafting with people. Cause like I do that too. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I won't take this guy. I don't want to snipe him or whatever. But I will say, like, you should always do what's best to build your best team. I mean, but hey, if you're not sniping me, I appreciate it. But yeah, it is a little bit of a, sometimes when you're debating between two guys, right? You're like, oh, I'll pass on this guy, especially like, you're like, I do a bunch of teams. It's like, I can pass on this guy right now. I can let it slide. I can get someone else. But yeah, no, it can be a little bit tough, and a little bit tough in those lobbies too, because like, I don't know, just like, certain guys like certain people. So then like the positional runs could be a little different, stuff like that, or like different communities kind of draft a little different. So yeah, it's always a little different depending like what stream room you're in and all that. All right, so we get Caleb. We'll definitely go Caleb here because all the other quarterbacks go. So I think it makes sense to grab him with my Loveland. I kind of mentioned that when I picked Loveland anyway. So we'll do that. I'm not a big Jalen Warren guy, like I said. As you can see, I only have 2% of my whole portfolio. I'm a really big Rico Dowdle guy. I have 12%, nothing crazy, but I do like Rico. I like DK and Pollard. I think, yeah, I did see this. DK and Pittman, it said they're probably both not going to practice this week. So it is a small amount concerning, but I think I'm still fine grabbing them there. I'm not going to be too worried about it unless it lingers on like beyond this. But it does sound like, they're both probably not going to practice this week and then they'll probably be back next week. So I think I'm still okay taking DK or Pittman right where I was taking them before. DK on the 6-7 turn or anytime later, I think is totally reasonable. And then Pittman, I like on the 8-9 turn even. I think he's reasonable after this range. Kind of depends who makes it to that 8-9 turn, but I'm usually happy grabbing Pittman there as well. So I don't know, feel decent with DK there. I was really considering a running back because like the thing to me, so like I like Tony Pollard, I like Rico. I don't really like Harvey. I'm more of a Dobbins guy. But I like Blake Corum. I like Dobbins. Chuba's okay. I do kind of hate Chuba, like in general. I'm more of a Brooks guy. Like we can see Brooks. I have 13% Brooks and I only have 3% Chuba. And like in my overall portfolio, it's actually even more lean to Brooks because like pre-draft, I was actually heavier on Brooks even and even lower on Chuba. I have like less than 1% in pre-draft of Chuba. But anyways, though, I like these running backs. They're just not a guarantee that any of them come back. I don't mind Kyle Monaghan or Jordan Mason or even Ja'Cory either, but they're not really like my favorite. I would really prefer to get like Rico, J.K. Dobbins, or Corum. Corum's the guy I have less exposure to, but I would really like to get my exposure up to Blake Corum. I don't know. I was just kind of lagging behind on him early. I wasn't as confident that he would like be taking over more of a role and stuff. And I feel like it's just kind of lean that way to where they'll lean more into the 50-50 just as the preseason's gone, as the reporting's gone. It seems more and more likely that they'll be like splitting time and all that. So I've been wanting to get my Corum bags up a little. I'm a pretty big Kyron fader as well. I'm really not into Kyron Williams. So that's kind of led to me also wanting to get more Corum, right? If I'm going to fade Kyron, then I really should be getting more Corum. So I think that all makes sense. Let's see. User, do you think Alec Pierce plays come week 1? They keep saying he will. So I would say right now, yes. Right now, I would say yes, I do think so, but it's mostly just on the team's comments, on the GM's comments, that he'll play week 1. I would say right now to me though, he is an avoid in drafts. I'm probably avoiding Alec Pierce. And just to be transparent, or it shows it right there, I'm overweight. I'm at 12% Alec Pierce. So right now he is falling. The price is better, but I just don't feel like I want to add to my bags right now with all this ambiguity, all this like, lack clarity around the injury. And I don't really feel like he's fallen enough to bake in the risk. Okay, I wouldn't mind Kyle Monaghan. I think he's a fair price right now. And I do want more. The Bears are saying they want to lead the NFL in scoring or set the record for scoring. So I do want more Monaghan, not just because of those comments, but sorry, let me make this pick and then I'll kind of go over the Monaghan deal. Okay. So the Kyle Monaghan thing, I'm a little bit lower on him in my total portfolio, but I think we've just seen with Ben Johnson offenses, he tends to be very run heavy. The Bears O-line is supposed to be pretty good. So it's like, I think I just want pieces of that Bears offense in general. And I already did kind of buy in, obviously, but I've just kind of come around more on Monaghan. Just like, I don't know, you look at the Lions offense, right, with Gibbs and Montgomery, or even like Swift and Jamal Williams. Where like one's the hammer, one's, thunder and lightning kind of deal. I think we saw the upside from Monaghan last year. He put up like 800 yards, decent amount of touchdowns. Obviously, he kind of cooked in that one game against the Bengals. Yeah, 783, 5 touchdowns, and another 164 receiving, right? So not fully one dimensional as a player and definitely mixed in a ton. Obviously, like I said, he crushed against the Bengals, and that kind of inflates his stats a little bit. Um, but I think we just saw him get good usage down the stretch. You know, Ben Johnson kind of trusts him. So I think if we trusted the Bears are going to be a really high scoring offense, and I'm making that bet with this team, then I should be picking more Kyle Monaghan, especially as late as he goes. I really feel a lot less comfortable with the running backs in this range, anyways. You know, like Jordan Mason's pretty interesting right now. I definitely want some more of him. And I have been clicking him more often lately. Jacory's pretty interesting too, but I think he also has pretty big downside risk. Chuba to me is pretty interesting once he gets in this range. Like, I would pick him if I was on the right side of the board, probably. I'm just not really picking him much out of the turn. I'm going to let him fall. But, you know, I mean, we're kind of crowning Jonathan Brooks the king, like, for like no reason. You know, I'm a big Chuba hater. I'm a big Jonathan Brooks guy, but I feel like we're maybe getting a little bit over the top with crowning Jonathan Brooks the king before he's really done anything. You know, and that's as a Jonathan Brooks guy. Like I've been overweight on him the whole way. And when the prices get this much different though, you know, you got to look at readjusting. You got to keep re-looking at it, right? You can't just be like this is something I think I've been guilty of before. Like I love Brooks and I hate Chuba, right? But I love Brooks and I hate Chuba when Brooks was going in the 10th round, 11th round, 12th round, and Chuba was going, you know, 6-7 turn or something, right? Or in this early 7th. And it's like, as the prices keep changing and changing, that is something that I have to like kind of keep reevaluating, kind of figure out, right? You can't just stick to your priors and, oh, well, no, I'm a Brooks guy. I'm a Brooks guy. I'm a Brooks guy. Cause like at some point, you know, the price starts getting like pretty cost prohibitive, right? For Jonathan Brooks, especially if he moves up any higher. Like, thank God he didn't break a long run or something today. That would have been all bad if he would have broke a long run in the preseason today. He didn't get hurt though, so I mean that's about as bullish as you could have hoped for. But if he would have broke a run, that would have been all bad. The longest shortman, I know you were saying you wanted to try it. I got a subscription to the solver today and it's pretty cool. I like it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you know, I probably will. I probably will this week. I think longest shortman, I will try it this week. I've seen it in action before because I watch like Pete Overzet's like Best Ball Breakfast and all that stuff like every week, and he uses it for like one or two of his drafts. So like I'm kind of familiar with how it works and like how it looks and all that. Um, but yeah, but maybe I will. I think I will try it. I'll try it this week, and I'll kind of do that idea you were talking about, where like do one with it, one without it. You know, kind of try to go over like what the main differences are. There was one other one I was looking at too. That's Jaden Higgins was getting some good talk. I think Jacoby Myers is just a good value though. Let's get Jacoby Myers, and then let's think about it. Okay, Jacoby Myers is a fine pick there. And then what do I want? I probably do want more George Kittle in my life, honestly. I mean, they keep saying he's going to play week 1. C-Rod's a fine pick. As you can see, I'm overweight C-Rod, but I don't really need him right here. These quarterbacks don't interest me a ton. I do like Shuck and I like Baker. As you can see, I'm overweight on both, but I don't have any stacks, nothing like that. Let's get Kittle behind Loveland. I really feel like I should be getting more Kittle right now. He's been one of the most difficult players for me. As you could see, I was like right around 6%. I think it showed like 5.9 or something like that. Um, it's so tough with a player his age coming off such a major injury. Like in general, you wouldn't even expect that guy to play until like November, right? For a player in his same situation, his same age, and especially the type of player he is, where he's that short, like not really a short area target, but kind of a short area target, and like a real big yak guy, though, right? George Kittle makes so much of his like game and his money off of yak and just what he does with the ball in his hands and just being that dynamic, explosive playmaker, right? And it's like, can he really be that coming off this injury at this age? And I want to say no, because historically it's a no, he couldn't. But historically, there's no reason they should be talking about him playing week 1 or 2. And they sound very confident that either he's playing week 1, or if not, he's playing like week 2 if he doesn't want to go to Australia, if they think that's a bad idea, right? Because week 1, the Niners have to play in Australia. So that could be like they might hold him out week 1, but if he's playing that early, then he's just a steal back here, right? unless he's totally washed from the injury, but it's just he's been one of the most difficult players for me, and I just feel like if he's gonna play that early in the year, I should really be getting more and more shares, right? And it's weird because all the reports have been very positive on him, but he hasn't really moved up at all. And I think it's because a lot of people are just worried, like, will he be that diminished player? And I would tend to lean that yes, he would be a diminished player. It's just that if he's beating these timelines and this recovery timeline stuff so much too, it's hard to really know like how much the historical context applies to him if he's already just like crushing these like rehab times and everything. Like the stream. Hey, appreciate best ball and call. Always appreciate. Yeah, and if you're watching, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Always helps out. Um, John Termini, what's up, Hartman? Are you going to do another draft? Hey, what's up, John? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Yeah, we're definitely gonna get another one going. I'll actually we can even get a poll going quick. Quick warning, my connection may get a little spotty for a second while I'm on the video. But we'll get a poll going quick. We'll see what you guys want to draft next. I think I already did max my boxers out. We'll get right back to that draft. 1 second. I just want to check. Did I already do all my boxers? I did. I maxed it. So we can't do that. We can do Pitbull, Puppy, or BBM. Yeah, we can do Pitbull, Puppy, or BBM. Oh, you can also see I have a bunch of eliminator slows going. But I'll get the poll going in the chat in just a second. Okay, what do I want here? What do I want here? What do I want here? Okay, it's gonna auto me Sam Darnold. That's fine. I don't have him stacked. I can get stacks later. That's okay. It's not like ideal, but it's fine. I'm not really worried about it. Do we want some Charbonnet? It seems early to take Charbonnet. I mean, we could just take all the injury guys who are allegedly coming back sooner. Let's get Tank Bigsby instead. I do like the Tank Bigsby click. My exposure to him's getting a little bit lower. I'm at 10%. I haven't been clicking him quite as much since he moved up. Let's get a little bit more Tank Bigsby going. That was a spot I wasn't exactly sure I wanted to do. I did let it time out on Sam Darnold because I didn't really see another good option here. The quarterbacks were kind of going. We see Cam Ward go right there, and then we're already down to Bryce Young, Rodgers. So I think it was smart to get a quarterback, and I felt like Darnold's probably easier to backstack. I also just have way less Darnold, so I figured maybe just get a little bit of him. I can look at like the Torrey Horton late. I've been wanting to get a little bit of Torrey Horton. Maybe Barner, but probably not a third tight end on this build. So we'll kind of see where we go from there. That was a little bit of a tough spot, to be honest. But I do think a quarterback was probably the right call, whether it was Darnold or Ward. And I didn't have either one stacked. But I think there's a chance it gets like really, really thin when it comes back. So grabbing the second one was probably the right move. Like we see Danny Dimes and Stroud go at like 130s. So that's kind of how it goes in this one. Yeah. We'll get the poll going real quick. Let me get that poll going real quick, and then we'll get it going. All right. All right. How do we get a poll going? We're not on the right account. All right. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Plus, not a Q&A, a poll, start a poll. Okay. So we can either do BBM, we can do Puppy, or we can do I get, you know what? Let's throw one other option in there. We'll also throw in drafters main because I like drafters a lot. I've been playing for my drafters. I want to get some more volume on there. I would not mind getting some more right now. So if you guys want to do drafters, we'll make that an option as well. But go ahead, vote in the poll for what you want next, and we'll get it going right after this. But all right. Sorry. All right, we should be good now. It should be good to go. Does Danny Dimes have a tough matchup week 1 against the Ravens? I don't think that's like a terrible matchup, honestly. It's not a good matchup. I mean, they're like secondary is a little bit revamped. They dealt with a lot of injuries last year that was kind of holding them back. So I would expect a little bit of a bounce back from the Ravens defense. I'm also a big believer in like Jesse Minter. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like the biggest defensive guy like in football, right? I play fantasy, but obviously just from watching football, just like kind of reading about him, knowing about him, I do think legit defensive coach. And I do think the Ravens dealt with a lot of injuries last year. They bring in Trey Hendrickson this year, kind of shore up that pass rush. Um, I think I think that the Ravens will be a more difficult matchup. It's not the worst. I think my bigger fear with the Colts, honestly, is that like if Pierce is coming back or if he's not even playing week 1 and then it's just Downs and Tyler Warren out there, I do worry about that for Daniel Jones. If Pierce is like injured earlier, kind of slow to start, I would worry about it like week 1 DFS wise, probably for Danny Dimes a little bit. It wouldn't be like the end of the world, but it would probably make me lower him a little bit. Long and Shortman, you can adjust the sliders, make it crazy stacked with week 17 and only suggest week 17 stacks with your current drafted players. Kind of crazy, honestly. Okay, yeah. I've seen that a little bit with I've seen that a little bit where they mess with the settings and stuff, but that is pretty cool that it gives you the freedom to kind of do it like as much as you want or as little as you want. So if you did want to go like, because some people, like regardless of tournament size or like how good the players are even, right? Like some people value week 17 a lot more than others. So that is kind of nice that you can like weigh value it up or down. That is kind of nice. Is Aaron Rodgers available? Okay, so we're definitely gonna get Rodgers here if he's available because we have DK. Okay. I do like Tajay quite a bit. And Tajay was that was another preseason note, kind of minor, but Tajay was splitting a decent amount of work with Pollard, which does at least show us a little bit that maybe the like we have two workhorses thing that Bob Saleh was saying is maybe a little bit more legit than just talk. At least they were doing it a little bit in the preseason. So let's get some Tajay. I do think he's a pretty significant tier above anyone else that's available at running back. I think he's the only guy who like legitimately has like a solid weekly role. I guess Jaden Blue could, Isaiah Pacheco could, but Tajay Spears, I think he has kind of his role locked in. He's going to get some carries. He's going to get some passing game work kind of every week. So, and if they fall behind, maybe he gets a little bit more work some weeks as the more like pass catching running back on that team. So I like that. And also it's a week 17 with my Rodgers and my Steelers stack. So, that's always nice. Not too big of a consideration when I'm getting like backup running back as a bring back, but always nice to get that game correlation, right? Never really a bad thing. Yeah, that is pretty cool with the solver. I think I will get it. I will get it this week and we'll do the stream. I'm going to stream tomorrow for a while. I'm also going to be on Jerry's stream tomorrow. Jerry's doing a big marathon stream tomorrow. I'm going to be on there at like 1 p.m. Pacific, but probably on like Monday or Tuesday. Maybe I'll do that like Monday or Tuesday. I'll do like I might even call it like the man versus machine, steal ETR's branding. That wouldn't be a bad idea if I use their product, just steal their whole branding because that's like their video. But yeah, no, because I did like the idea. I do like the idea, and I like kind of comparing like I like the idea of comparing how it thinks of like certain spots and everything too. Like I could try to focus more in on that, like certain spots where maybe I would go different or it goes different. That because I'd probably still have it on even when I draft, like, or maybe I do one fully without it. But I guess like almost all my drafts are fully without it, so I might do one with it on where I like ignore it, and then one where I just like top click essentially. But it is a good idea. I do like the idea you had. And the solver is something that interests me enough. I do want to try it. There's also the splash play one that Emo Cowboy was talking about. And I am a little bit interested by that one as well. So I definitely want to get the solver one though, but the splash play one was a little interesting as well. But yeah, I think I will try that. I will try that next week, probably early in next week, like Monday or Tuesday. Mick Nix, this might sound weird, but I'm almost treating Kittle like a highly drafted rookie tight end, expecting him to start slow and hopefully crush late. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair way to view it. And I think if he's on the field right away, then it's like, I think the biggest thing to me about him being on the field right away is kind of like you're saying, like crush late, start slow. It's like if he couldn't come back to like week 6 or 7, then it's like, oh, if he starts slow and he doesn't ramp up to like week 13, 14, it starts getting really worrying. But like if he's like just kind of bad the first like 5 or 6 weeks, and then he really is like ramping up after that, I mean, then he's just like an absolute smash, I think, this late. Like if he's really George Kittle, like if George Kittle looks like George Kittle, by like week 7 or 8, then he's like an absolute smash. I think you're crushing at his price, right? I do like Dalton Kincaid a lot. I've been warming up on him too, but like I think if George Kittle looks like George Kittle by like week 7 or 8, then you're absolutely like crushing by taking him. Um, do I want? Oh yeah, I don't need a third tight end. If I was gonna get one, it would have been like Barner. I do like Freiermuth a ton. I wouldn't mind that, but we don't need to do that on this one. We'll get Jeremy. Jeremy was looking pretty good in the preseason game. Let's over index on that. Let's get some Jeremy. Well, let's get some, oh, Caleb Douglas goes, bro. I can't get Caleb Douglas anymore. I actually have a little bag of Caleb Douglas, and these people keep sniping me on them. It's making me real upset. Maybe we will get Pat Fry because I'm not really seeing a receiver that's speaking to me. Calvin Ridley's fine. We could get a little Calvin Ridley. It's a bring back. He was with the starters over Wan'Dale Robinson, even in like the 2 wide receiver sets, since Wan'Dale's more of a slot guy. I guess that's kind of to be expected a little bit, but Calvin Ridley might give me a little bit of points early, and it is a week 17. I guess a week 17 correlation. How much does it matter when it's kind of more of a veteran, like early season guy, to be honest with you? But it's okay. That was a pick. Like, I didn't really love a lot of the guys. A lot of the hype guys kind of went before me. I like buying in on my hype too, but Zach Branch, Cyrus Allen, Caleb Douglas all go within like 6 picks of me. So really unfortunate there. Apparently the hype guys were going in the 16th in this one. Usually you can get them in the 17th still. So unfortunate. I would say the biggest one I've been targeting lately is Caleb Douglas. I don't have like a big bag of them, but I have, this is a little bit that's not totally accurate. Let me look at my actual exposures, because Caleb Douglas has probably been the guy I've been getting the most of lately. Shout out Centex Legend. He was saying it before anyone, got to give him his flowers. Yes, I have 4%, which is actually a decent chunk, but a lot of it's in my BBMs. I have 11% in BBM, which is I don't know. It must be 8 shares. It must be 8 teams, because I have like 63 teams. So yes, I've been getting a little bit more Caleb Douglas for sure. Definitely one of the guys I'm targeting. Oh, and like I said, I'm in a bunch of eliminator slows. I've been doing a ton of them. Let's go back to the draft though. But yeah, Caleb Douglas, I would say, is a guy I'm trying to get. Malachi Fields is a guy I've been getting more of. I would say with him, I'm not sure how hard I would try to chase Malachi Fields up the board. It's not like with Caleb Douglas, I'm going to chase him up the board either, but like to some extent, I guess, like I would take Caleb Douglas straight up probably over Malik Washington. Like I'm just not a big Malik Washington believer. I would rather take a shot on kind of the rookie mystery box. And he has been getting a lot of good reports in camp. Caleb Douglas, they're talking about moving him all around the formation. He's going to be on the field like early and often as a blocker and as a receiver. So I do kind of like that for him. Cyrus Allen, I want to get a little bit more of, but he's probably the guy I'm like least confident in like buying. It's kind of more just buying the hype on him. But like the Chiefs have hyped up rookies every year who always suck for the most part. So I don't want to get too over my skis on Cyrus Allen. Because if Worthy and Rice are healthy, there might not be much room for him to really like work. I know Worthy kind of sucks, and like Tyquan Thornton isn't the greatest either, but I don't know. The Chiefs have a tendency of hyping up rookies that do nothing. So I don't want to get too crazy on him. Caleb Douglas, I want to get quite a bit of. Pat Bryant, I want to get quite a bit of. Jacoby Lane, the price is getting a little bit too steep for me probably, but I don't mind grabbing them. But the price is pretty steep right now. Zach Branch, I like too, just because I feel like, it sounds like Jahan Dotson will probably start over him early, but I think Jahan Dotson's just such weak competition. And Zach Branch has been getting pretty good camp reports as well. So I do think I want some of him. I want some Torrey Horton. I should have grabbed Torrey Horton over here. That was actually a mistake on my part, because he has been getting drafted more. I was thinking about grabbing him in like the very last round, but I should have remembered I was like the very end of the last round. I should have grabbed him in the 17th. That was a mistake. I should have grabbed Torrey Horton over Calvin Ridley, because I think I even mentioned him when I picked Darnold too. So that was a mistake on my part. Chris Bell's getting a little bit of hype because he might play in preseason even, which is pretty interesting. He's supposed to be pretty talented. He's just coming off the major injury, right? Keenan Allen's kind of interesting because, like, I don't know, is he going to sign? Is he going to retire? If for the last couple of weeks it sounded a lot like he was going to sign, and then now all of a sudden it sounds like that's not as likely, or not. It doesn't sound like that's less likely. We just haven't heard anything, and it's starting to get really close to the season and not hear anything. So A little bit worrying there. Do I want a Cooper Cup type? Not really. I already got Calvin Ridley. Do I really want a Cooper Cup on top of it? George Halani's fine, I guess. Not my favorite click. Oh, let's get Vele. Yeah, let's get some Vele. Hopefully it gives me Vele. Um, let's see. It should give me Vele. But yeah, Vele is just a guy. I'm actually pretty concerned. Let's see where Jordan Tyson went in this one. He went at 68, so almost no fall at all. I am pretty concerned about this Jordan Tyson hamstring thing. And I know I'm lower on Vele. I should have been high on Vele all along, like our boy Bayou Bengal, maybe. But realistically, I'm just pretty worried about this Tyson hamstring injury. And so I think it could be a good time to buy the Saints like backup pieces, because if Tyson gets some negative news, we could just see them moving up. So it might be a decent time to buy in a little bit on those guys. Uh I don't know. The Tyson stuff is just worrying me where like he picked up that hamstring injury in like January, missed the combine, had to push back his training camp, only practiced like a week before the NFL draft. So he had to push back his pro day, all that. And then it's like, then he picks up another hamstring injury, and then he had a hamstring injury during the season last year in college. And it's like, this guy just keeps picking up these hamstring injuries and he keeps being out for like, that one in January that took him out for like 3 months and he couldn't even practice. And it's like this one right now, they're saying he's week to week and they're like having him looked at and getting more opinions. It's like, well, I don't know, like week to week, I think I can accept week to week with a lot of guys, but when it's a guy who's had just a horrible history of leg injuries, I don't know. I want to totally hold off on Tyson right now. I want to wait until we get a little bit more clarity on that. I'm just really, really concerned about his situation, just especially with his history, right? I'm not someone like generally, I would say I maybe underrate injuries, if anything, compared to the average like fantasy football player. I would say maybe sometimes I should be a little bit more cautious with injuries. Like Neighbors, like I was picking quite a bit of Neighbors when he was going later, and that one seems to have worked out as well as it could right now, right? We'll see how well he actually plays when he's on a real football field in a real game, but he's been moving up. That one has went positively. But like with the Tyson stuff, it's just yeah, it's just so concerning. I don't know. It's just such a history of it. And then even this year, just multiple hamstring injuries this year. It doesn't seem like he can stay healthy for more than a couple weeks. I don't know, it's concerning. And I really like Jordan Tyson. I really like the Saints offense. So that's the thing I kind of hated about it is if he is falling at some point, I do want to buy back in, but if he's going to go around the same price or like not even into the seventh round or anything, there's no chance I'm going to click him. Like I probably want at least like a mid seventh round price to really entice me. At this point, like any earlier than that, I'm probably not even looking at him right now, to be honest. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being too cautious, but it just feels like a guy like Jordan Tyson with his history, I really want to be cautious on. Um, but all right, let's look at my team really quick and then we'll see what won the poll. I don't think anyone was in here with me. Yeah, no one was in here with me. So we'll look at my team quick and then we'll see what won that poll. And then we'll hop into another draft, whatever won. So go ahead, vote down below if you haven't already. And hey, like and subscribe if you haven't already also. Obviously, you guys already know the deal. But all right, we want the 3582. We're in the puppy right now. 3582. Caleb Williams, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers. I think that's a good quarterback room. Kind of an elite guy, like borderline elite guy. Then just two later guys I feel pretty comfortable with. Rodgers I had stacked up with Jeremy and DK. Darnold I grabbed just because quarterback was getting really thin. It was like him and Cam Ward were the only guys left on this turn. So I didn't want to risk like pushing it too hard. The room could have made me really pay for it. So we grabbed Darnold there unstacked. Not my favorite guy, but it's okay. So okay quarterback room, decent quarterback room. Jahmyr Gibbs, Dave Montgomery, Kyle Monaghan, Tank Bigsby, Tyjae Spears. I like a running back room like this. I get my real hero up top with Gibbs, get another decent start with Montgomery, pair up my Detroit Lions backfield, obviously, just like I like. But no, get like two good starters there, and then get Monaghan, who's like, obviously he's more the change of pace guy. He's more the 1B on his team, or like, the 2 or the 1B. I would say more like 1B, but it is a team that I do believe in. I think will be a very high scoring team. I think Monaghan just showed us quite a bit last year. He is a pretty efficient rusher. He can catch a little bit, could get some of that goal line work. And if I think they're going to be a high scoring team, then I think his price is pretty good. Bigsby and Tyjae, just some big upside swings. Tyjae maybe giving me a little bit of floor as well. just by like splitting some work, getting some catches every week. So like the running back room overall, it's like it's okay, it's decent overall, like a decent running back room. It's just solid capital. Malik Neighbors, Rashi Rice, DK Metcalf, Jordan Addison, Jacoby Myers, Jeremy Bernard, Calvin Ridley, Devon Vele, Loveland Kittle. Loveland Kittle is good at tight end. Maybe a little bit of risk with Kittle, because there is some re-injury risk, I'm sure, but should be good at tight end, especially with the elite up top. Receiver, I think, is pretty good. I like my top five. I like having a fifth by Jacoby. I think Jacoby's a pretty good fifth. I like Addison, like DK. So I don't know. I feel pretty good with it. I guess it's just Neighbors and Rice. Both their knees need to stay healthy. I guess that's really my biggest risk, but I like my top five. It feels like pretty kind of like safer guys for the most part, other than like DK and Jacoby feel like kind of more safer guys. Neighbors and Rashi, I guess, are more upside swings, but a little risk with them. And then we just took some swings late with Jeremy and Vele. Calvin Ridley, I guess, another kind of chaperone. So I don't know, maybe a little bit like of a safe receiver room, but I think it's solid. I think it's fine overall. I think overall this team's okay. It's pretty well balanced. There's no like super weaknesses. I think you could maybe argue running backs a little on the lighter side. Like these top three are okay, but technically I do only have the two starters, right? If one of them went down or something, it could be hurting a little. So I don't know. I think it's fine. It's a fine team. Got some correlation. Got that bear stack with the Gibbs bring back, obviously. So got a double Pittsburgh with Ridley and Tajay bring back. So got some nice stacks and stuff, which is cool in a tournament of a 750 seat final. I think you do want to look for like stacks and bring backs, play for week 17, right? So overall feels decent. Nothing crazy, but it feels like a decent squad overall. But all right. All right. So we'll catch up with the chat real quick and then we'll hop in whatever you guys are voting for. User Downs, Goddard, or Tyler Warren, Wandale, week one only. I would be Tyler Warren, Wandale, I think. I think Tyler Warren, Wandale for me. I think Downs could have a pretty tough time, especially if Pierce is limited or out. And the coverage is shifting so much to Downs. I think it could be pretty tough for him. So I would probably go Warren, Wandale. I think Wandale could actually have a pretty decent role week one. There's actually been a lot of good talk about his chemistry with Cam Ward. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him kind of start out like decently hot. And yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see Wandale start out decently hot. And I love Tyler Warren. So I'd probably go Warren, Wandale personally. Darnold greater than Ward. Hey, what's up, Fantasy Fitness? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Hey, and check out Fantasy Fitness if you don't know. He's streaming pretty much every day. But yeah, he's a big Darnold fan. I don't know. I wanted a little bit of exposure, I guess. I only had 2%. We'll get a little exposure to old Sammy Darnold. I like his back stacks better too. I didn't get any in that draft, but I do like his back stack options a little bit more, I think, even though I picked all of Cam Ward's right after. So not my best plan on that one, probably. But yeah, we took Darnold over Ward that time. Downs, Goddard. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'd probably lean with the Warren side. Mick Nix, I almost always take Kittle on 3 tight end teams as well, or pair him with an elite or something. Just feels like a shot worth taking. Totally agree. I think with an elite feels really good. Like, I think my favorite would be like if I get Kittle with like Tyler Warren or something, because I think Warren might be one of those guys like super high target share, just super high floor and consistent. And then you can pair like a Kittle with them. I think that would feel nice. Or like Kittle up top, and then you take like 3 tight ends. Like you get like a Kittle and then like a Dalton Schultz and like Brenton Strange or something. I think that could work out nice where Kittle's kind of like your upside piece. So that could be pretty nice there too. Hey, y'all. Hey, what's up, Bayou Bengal? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Hey, and check out Bayou Bengal if y'all know. Bayou Bengal's he's streaming pretty much like he streams like Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning, and then a couple like weekday mornings. And he's doing some pop-ups too. So definitely go check out Bayou Bengal. He's doing them long streams in the morning. So early morning, especially on the weekends, definitely Bayou Bengal's the guy. If I end up with Rice, I'm looking for Kelsey later on. That's fair. I definitely like Kelsey's price a lot. I think Kelsey goes at a very good price. So I'm happy to get Kelsey a lot of times on build just in general. Like I'm saying, I was getting a little bit more Kittle right now, but I think Kelsey is a great price. I really like him in his range in general. Emmett Johnson looked good today. Yeah, I saw that. And I saw Andy Reid had some nice stuff to say about him, said he ran hard, looked good. So always nice to see with stuff like that, and Emmett was a guy I was taking a lot pre-draft. I haven't taken as much post-draft, but I wouldn't be opposed to taking a little bit here and there if it looks like he can kind of take that RB2 role. I've just been holding off, not getting too crazy. I already got my bags of these rookie RBs who probably won't do a ton, so I don't want to get too crazy. But if it sounds like he's going to capture that RB2 role and he's looking good, it's sounding good, then I could see definitely buying some more at Emmett. Um, Boom. Hey, what's up, money? Anything, Jeff T? Boom. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. And thanks for stopping by, Ryan. Appreciate it. Falcons offense is putrid. Avoid all Falcons branch included. Yeah, they look terrible. I did see that. Tua looked horrible. The whole offense looked horrible. The offensive line looked horrible. That was the biggest thing. The O line looked terrible. Yeah, not the best sign from them, but I'm not gonna over index on a little preseason. That's what I'm saying too, is like I don't want to over index on preseason performances in that sense. It is, it's not the best. You prefer that they look good, right? When you're buying in on a team, you're putting your money on them. But I'm not going to over index too hard on performances. But I really do want to keep an eye, especially with these young guys, these rookies, on usage and on snaps, especially for teams that are playing starters, right? So like seeing Malachi Fields catch a touchdown from Dart, like it's nice that he caught a touchdown, but it's more like, okay, he's on the field with Dart with the starting unit. Zach Branch was on the field with Tua with the starting unit, right? Not right away. It was Jahan Dotson, 2 wide receiver sets, but Branch was in that slot role for some of it. So it's like, it's nice to see that usage, right? Or like KC in Boston. The KC in Boston one, I was never really that worried about. I mean, they're super high draft picks, and the other receivers on that team suck. So I don't even like Jerry Jeudy that much, but obviously it's going to be those two with Jeudy. But yeah, I'm not going to over index too much, but it definitely was not inspiring. The elite 18 round 18 wide receiver is still available. Hell yeah, Bayou. Hell yeah. Hey, I was just saying, I think I might start touting them now that Jordan Tyson got hurt. I saw a post on Twitter. It was all these goddamn touts. They're gonna start touting Vele now. I've been touting Vele for 3 months. That was a Bayou Bengal post, but he is the Vele guy. We'll give him that. I'll give him his flowers. But I do think I want to get in a little bit on the Vele train. I was believing too much in Jordan Tyson. I was like, the hamstrings were bad before, but these NFL trainers, they're different. They're going to get him right. Turns out they aren't. His hamstrings are just bad. Maybe he'll be like Christian Watson. He can actually come back and be healthy like year 4 or whatever it was. But but yeah, no, I should buy some Vele, and I just did. I'm buying. Marvin Mims and Emmanuel Wilson are my deep picks. I think the Marvin Mims one is reasonable. I think that is a totally fine pick. I'm not really doing it much. I would probably rather go for Troy Franklin if I was going to pick a deeper Broncos guy. I think Marvin Mims is totally viable though, like in that same vein, just a deep threat guy who, if he does get on the field, if there is an injury to Waddle or something, I think that's fine. Emmanuel Wilson, I haven't really bought in. I bought in kind of early, but it's just sounding more like it's Price, and then they like Holani a lot. So I just don't know if Emmanuel Wilson's going to get much of a chance to get meaningful playing time. And then you also have Charbonnet looming. And obviously, once Charbonnet gets back, I think it's going to be him and Price mostly. But if they like Holani in that pass catching role too, I don't know. It just seems like it's going to be really hard for Emmanuel Wilson to get on the field in a meaningful way to me. I haven't really been buying him. But I will say, like, you're talking about a scroll and a deep pick. Like, I'm not going to hate too much on your 18th rounder. And especially you're getting more unique with those, right? Because they're not fully drafted. So I think those are fine calls. And I think Marvin Mims, especially, I can agree with. The Emmanuel Wilson, I'm not quite as in on, though. I have like 14% Vele. Not sure how that happened, but I guess we're going with it. Hey, hell yeah, McNix. Hell yeah, you're sharp. You must have been listening to some Bayou Bengal. But hell yeah. Hey, I mean, that feels pretty good right now, doesn't it? I'm only 88% Vele now. Need to get back to 90% ASAP. Hell yeah, Bayou. Hell yeah. No, I mean, hey, that 88% is feeling good. But I will tell you the one nice thing about being a Vele, like not being a Vele truther like myself, is he's still just free. I just got him with pick 216, and Jordan Tyson's hamstring is spaghetti right now. So so that's the one nice thing about not being a truther, is I can still just pack up my bags right now for free. We'll see how long that lasts, but as of right now, I can still get them for free. So we're good. But yeah, Bayou Bengal got big Vele bags. I'm hamstrung on Tyson. Nice one, Jeff. I don't see being high on Dobbins with his history. That's totally fair. I guess would be my case for Dobbins is if you look at his injury history, I would say for the most part, they're like not freak injuries, but like they're not like soft tissue. They're not reoccurring in that sense where it's like stuff that like like Christian Watson, right? Like he has the hamstring issues and like all those like soft tissue stuff. Obviously, he had an ACL tear as well, but it's like these guys with all this soft tissue stuff who always get hamstrings, like Kendre Miller would be a good example. Like Kendre Miller, where he could never make it through a camp, he could never stay healthy. And it's just with Dobbins, it's like he had a broken foot last year, which is like such a random injury, torn Achilles, torn ACL. I will say maybe the torn ACL and Achilles, maybe like you could argue a little bit of like compensatory injury stuff, right? Like if the one leg was compensating the next year coming off of that. So he did come back from the ACL pretty quickly. So you could argue maybe like the compensatory injury coming back from that could have definitely happened. But I just think like I don't know, his injuries have been so like just random and unrelated and like contact not contact injuries, but like just random unrelated injuries, I feel like to me. That's why I'm willing to buy in and just hope that like yeah, just hope that he does stay healthy when because it's like there's nothing about him that would make you think he's going to get hurt again, right? Other than the fact that he gets hurt every single year. But it's just like all the injuries, they're just so unrelated, right? It's just I don't know. It's such a weird situation for him. And I do understand if you want to be more out on him. And I will say, like, I don't know, Jonah Coleman's been looking good. Harvey looked really good last year when Dobbins went down. I can understand the upside for those guys and why you'd pick them, why you'd be worried on Dobbins. I feel like Dobbins' injuries aren't like something that would repeat in theory just based on the type of injuries. But I mean, historically that bet doesn't really pay off, right? I pick a decent amount of Dobbins more years than not, and more years than not, I get fucking burned. So I think if you want to be out on him for the injuries, I'm not really going to say that that's a bad idea or that like you're crazy for thinking he's going to get injured again when he's been injured every single year. Maybe I'm the crazy one, but I do tend to believe the injuries are more random for him. They're not like systematic things that are wrong with him. Like the ones that worry me like that are soft tissue and like hamstrings or groins or like I feel like the Kendre Miller example was actually pretty good because he always had that. He'd always be like just about to come back and he'd have some new injury. And it's like I feel like Dobbins, it's like everything goes perfect until a catastrophic injury just hits out of nowhere. But yeah, but that's fair though. Keith, big shooter, great stream thus far. Hey, appreciate it, Keith. Appreciate you stopping by too. Appreciate it, bro. But Barry and Brown is having a great camp. Could be a better click than Bailey. Hey, I don't mind that. I was in Bayou Bengals stream. Just it might have been today, it might have been yesterday, but I was saying that exact same thing. I was saying it's Barry and Brown season. So I'm with you there, Keith. I'm with you there. Chris Olave said that Barry and Brown is basically Rashid Shaheed as a player. So I don't mind that. Guy that can win deep, hit some deep plays for us. I don't mind it. I don't mind the call. Come on, Keith. No way. Ready to draft. All right, all right. We're right at the end. We're right at the end. Go ahead, vote in that poll if you guys haven't already. Let's take a look at what won the poll, and then we'll get in the draft. Ready to draft. Only 88% Vele. Why are you fading him? Sorry, that's a 12% fade. That's kind of crazy. True, still free. LL McNicks. I'm an RJ truther. That's fair. I do think the one thing with RJ is he just wasn't a very efficient rusher. I was a huge RJ truther last year. Like that was actually my highest owned player in pre-draft. I had over 30% RJ Harvey in pre-draft last year. Because I was huge on RJ, and then he got drafted really high. His price was pretty high last year, like in post-draft. I still was a little overweight on him, but nothing crazy. But pre-draft, I was super in on him. Like I love RJ Harvey. It's just like J.K. Dobbins is like so much of a better rusher, and J.K. Dobbins just comes back from every injury and is like an elite rusher just every year. I mean, RJ did get a lot of design work in the goal line, a lot of high value stuff. He is a good pass catcher. He is explosive. So I don't hate the call. I would say the one other thing scaring me on RJ a little though is all this Jonah Coleman hype. Jonah Coleman's getting crazy hype lately. So I would say that's worrying me on RJ a little as well. All right, let's go over here. I'm gonna go over to the YouTube and check out the poll real quick, see what won. And then Alien Sphere getting abducted by Devon Vele. Hell yeah, hell yeah. No, Devon Vele, I mean, Devon Vele, he is him. He is him. All right, let's see the poll and then we'll get into it. All right. Um, and full. All right. Looks like BBM won the draft or won the poll. All right, I don't mind that. And we're gonna start one more poll at least. And then we'll just do the same options. Because I probably will do one more draft after this at least, and then we'll do and then I might get out of here, maybe do one more. We'll figure it out after, but we'll probably get one more draft in even after this one. So let me make the poll real quick, and then we'll get into the BBM. All right, drafting. All right. Um. All right. All right. Uh. Yeah, okay, okay. Sorry, I was just thinking about something. I want to update my best ball overlay quick, but I can do it while we get in. So I'm going to set that to start and then I'll count it down. Sorry. Sorry I went radio silent for a second. I was in a phase of deep thought. All right, let me get this set up. Sorry. Wow. I do a big variety of contests. I may not have the craziest amount of entries, but it's crazy the amount of variety that I have to click off of to not select them. All right, update selected so we can just get the BBM exposures on their own. All right, we're going to enter the best ball mania in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're in waiting on 9. So if anyone wants to hop in the best ball mania, we're waiting on 9. So definitely can be a friends and family room if you guys would like. Up to you on that one. Um, this is gonna be a tough lobby. Probably this is gonna be a sweaty lobby. Sean Payton's playbook is a Harvey playbook. Dobbins is just a better rusher. That's fair. That's fair. The West Coast system is more beneficial to Harvey because Harvey can do a lot more out of the backfield, right? Dobbins is fine at like catching swing passes or whatever. He's not like a total zero like a Jordan Mason or Chris Rodriguez, but Dobbins isn't going to be like a route runner, really do much out of the backfield. He just catches little like checkdowns and stuff. I think that's a fair point, and I think it could get Harvey some schemed usage. I guess just what worries me is like Jonah Coleman can really push in that sense, where Jonah Coleman is a well-rounded back also. And like Dobbins maybe does get a little bit lower value touches overall, but I do think like the thing that scares me is when we looked at Harvey, like we look at Harvey before Dobbins got hurt, and it really just wasn't great. Like we can look over here real quick. Sure, this tab 2025. So Dobbins got hurt week 10. So we do see Harvey do pretty good the 2 weeks before, but mostly on the touchdowns, right? And he did get some of that red zone schemed usage. That is nice to see. He did have 6 touchdowns before Dobbins got hurt, right? But it's just we see like he had 14 carries week 4. Other than that, his highest carry share was 7. It's just such a low workload and so inconsistent. And that's with no Jonah Coleman, right? That's competing for touches with Jaleel McLaughlin. And I just don't know if he gets really much more rushing work than this because even later when he was getting more carries, I mean, he wasn't really efficient. He just was getting all the work and he really consolidated pretty well. But like, I don't know. He was just like early on, it was just so inefficient. I guess you still did get like 3 pretty good games out of him, right? A 17.8, a 23, and a 14. So maybe if that red zone role is still there, but it's like we see him at snap share wise, like 30% and below. Most of these are in the 20% range. It's just like, I don't know. It seems so hard to believe like he's gonna get a lot more of a role this year with if Dobbins is healthy. I feel like it'd be a similar kind of split. And if anything, I feel like he just has more pressure with Coleman kind of breathing down his neck. And see, that's the thing. Before, I guess I was feeling more okay with Harvey because I wasn't really believing in Coleman at all. But Coleman's been getting really good reports this camp. So I feel like he's starting to worry me just a little bit more as well. That's kind of taking me off Harvey just a little bit too. All right, let's see who got in here. We got Keith Big Shooter, Super Beast at the 3. We got Digger at the 5. That's John. We got me at the 10. Hilltoppers at the 9. Let me know if you're in here, Hilltoppers, if you're in the chat. Bayou Bengal at the 12. DJ Spinoza at the 8. Let me know if you're in the chat too, DJ Spinoza. But yeah, let me know if you guys are in here or if anyone I didn't say is in here. Let me know. But we at least got some friends and family in here, so always good to see that. All right, so this is just my BBM exposures. Let's get up to field on CD. Let's get a little bit more CD Lamb. I believe I am 63 BBMs deep. Let's look real quick, just real quick, and then we'll get back over here. Best Ball Mania, yeah, we're 63 Best Ball Manias deep. So we're on the clock in a shitload of eliminators. Let's get back here. Sorry about that. I just wanted to check I want to check how many. Justin Jefferson goes at 14. I'm fortunate. I would have liked the Lamb Jefferson pairing. Okay. Do I want to pair it up with Walker? I don't have any Lamb Chase Brown. I don't have any Lamb Henry, actually. Okay, should I get Chase Brown? No, let's get Derrick Henry. Let's get Derrick Henry. Well, okay, we got Derrick Henry. That works out. I don't know. I like Chase Brown. I think he's a fine pick. I am underweight in BBM, as you can see. I only have 3%. Ken Walker is actually my favorite second round pick. Ken Walker is my second or third highest owned running back in my entire portfolio. So I'm huge on Kenneth Walker this year. It was just that such a good chunk of my CD Lamb shares were with Kenneth Walker already. I wasn't totally sure if I wanted to pair them up again. I definitely could have, because I do like Kenneth Walker a lot, but I also like the big dog a lot. And I don't have him paired up with CD Lamb. That's a little bit of a different combo for me. So we got a little different there with the combos. I was kind of leaning towards that. Let it be a tiebreaker to me. I do like the big dog. They're talking about even using him on some screen passes. Who knows if that's true? Who cares if that's true? He got 16 touchdowns both the last 2 years. I mean, Derrick Henry is just, he's an alien. He's not from this planet. He plays on an amazing offense. He has an amazing role on that offense. He has a great goal line role. So it's like there's no reason to doubt Derrick Henry. He is old. That's the only reason to doubt him. 1 year it will be a wrong bet, but I'm not going to be the guy to say that this is the year it's the wrong bet. And not having him with CD Lamb, I would like to have that combo in my portfolio. Peter Scholdiner, Dobbins was like third in yards when he got illegal hip drop tackle at the end of the season. Right. And that's my point too. It's like the injuries, right? He got illegal hip drop tackle and then he broke his foot. It's like he's just so unlucky. Dobbins isn't injury prone. He's just unlucky. I swear he's just unlucky. But it's so hard when the dude does get hurt every year. But I really do believe he's just unlucky. As crazy as it sounds for a guy who gets hurt every year, I really do believe that. I do understand though, like I can kind of get this argument, especially more so like against Dobbins in best ball, where it's like, well, what does Dobbins really do for you spike wise, right? Does Dobbins really hit your lineup in a meaningful way? And I think he does in thinner running back rooms. I think when you have a robust room though, like let's say I got 3 running backs by like round 7, I feel like Dobbins fits those teams a lot less than he fits those teams where it's like, oh, I only have 2 running backs and maybe I didn't get my first one till maybe I started my running back room with like David Montgomery in the 4th, and then I come back and get like Ramondre in the 7th, right? And that's how I started. I don't get one till then. And then I feel like Dobbins fits really nice if you get him in like that 8-9 turn. But if you have like a little bit stronger room, I do agree that since he's not much of a pass catcher, his upside is a little bit capped, not being that pass catcher. And he's also not a huge, he's not a big body back. So I do think, he's never going to be like a super, super dominant goal line back either. I think he gets a decent amount of goal line work, but he's never going to be super dominant. We can look at Dobbins stats real quick. This is half PPR. So, we see him with a 14, a 15, a 14.8, 11, 14.9. Then he gets a little lower, 4, 8, 13, 6, 8.9. And then he got injured in that game with 8.9. So, it's not like he's like putting up huge like spike weeks either. But I do think he's helpful, especially in lineups where you have a little bit lower. Let me look at this. Do I want Trey McBride? Yeah, fine. That's my first share in BBM. Also, just in my portfolio, I have like 2% Trey McBride. I think the 310 is enough of a fall. I'll get some there. I was really thinking about Ladd McConkey. I do like Ladd quite a bit, but let's get a little bit of Trey McBride in my life. We're getting a little different with this. I don't pick as much CD. I don't pick very much Trey McBride at all. So let's get a little bit of those guys. We got a little value on McBride. Let's take it. That feels fine to me. I think it's definitely Tet. Let's see how the pairings look with Tet. Yeah, I don't have him paired with Lamb or McBride at all. I have him paired a little with Henry. That's fine. Could also look at like Jacobs. I like Jacobs quite a bit. I think Josh Allen's a fine pick, but this isn't. I don't really want to pick Josh Allen on a team where I took an elite tight end. I would more pick Josh Allen if I like went like double anchor and then had a receiver or something like that. I don't know, like not the elite tight end though. I don't love Josh Allen on those builds. I think it's a fair price for him though, but I don't love him on those builds with the elite tight end. So we passed on him for Tet. I do like Tet McMillan quite a bit though. I like where he goes. I think he's a very safe pick. You know, you could argue the upside's a little bit limited for him, but realistically, like last year as a rookie, he finished as wide receiver 15 overall. He goes as wide receiver 19 now. So, you know, he already beat his current finishing position as a rookie. Going into his second year, he could get a little bit of an improvement. They've talked about using him in the slot a little bit more. So I like Tet's price quite a bit. And yeah, I think this build feels pretty good, pretty balanced. So we'll see what comes back to us though. Oh yeah, but I do kind of agree with that. That point's a good point. That is a fair point, Ryan. I do kind of agree with you there that Harvey can do stuff in that system that Dobbins can't that is beneficial to Harvey, and especially in a fantasy sense is beneficial. One of my bold predictions is that Jonah Coleman scores more fantasy points than RJ Harvey. I have a full fade on RJ Harvey. You know, I don't think that's that crazy, Jeff. I mean, Jonah Coleman has been getting a ton of hype. They really seem to like him, and it's tough because you don't want to buy in too much on hype. And Sean Payton loves all of his players, right? They're all the Joker. They're all great. He loves them all like his children. But it is just like, I don't know. Yeah, the Jonah Coleman drum beat's been pretty strong and pretty consistent. And RJ Harvey was a pretty bad rusher with low success rate. He can do interesting stuff in the passing game and he is explosive and he can get big plays. But it's like, it is worrying when he's a lower success rate guy and that, you know, that can get you off the field. Especially if Jonah Coleman is looking good. I mean, it's not like Harvey's this insurmountable piece, right? I'm 44% Jonah Coleman. Holy shit, Bayou. That's crazy. Damn, dude. 44%. Bayou Bengal really has a stand. See, I'm not like that. I'm too much of a fucking best ball bro, to be honest. I'm too best ball brained. I mean, you guys can see my exposures. These are even BBM exposures, and it's like, it's still pretty flat. I mean, I have my spots. I have spots where I don't like guys, but like, I love me some Drake May, got 20% of him. Hate Jalen Warren, got 1% of him. Hate QJ, have 0% QJ. So it's like I make my little stands here and there, but like, I don't know. I don't have anyone in my portfolio that's like crazy exposure. My craziest one's Katron Allen, which feels pretty bad right now. But I got him at like 25%. I think my next one's Diggs. Diggs is at like 21%. But like that one's just dropping at this point, to be honest. Like I still pick him a little bit, but that exposure is just dropping. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do spread out my bets a lot more, I guess. But that, I mean, right now, I think that does feel pretty decent. Dobbins is in the way, LOL. For RJ, I agree. RJ RB3 is solid as fuck. I don't know. I don't know if I totally agree. I think it's fine. Hilltopper's going double elite QB. That's interesting. Lamar and Henry. I don't mind Lamar and Henry. Do I want let's get some P-Wash. Let's get some P-Wash. Let's capitulate. See, even the guy that I fade, Parker Washington, that you know, he gets all the hype in the fucking world. So no, I think with the Parker Washington fade, honestly, I've been fading Parker Washington. It feels kind of bad right now. I do think the big thing that changed my mind was when kind of more the reports came out that Travis Hunter would be playing more X and playing more outside. Because my big thesis against Parker this whole time, the biggest part to me has been that Travis Hunter will eat into his role significantly. And Parker Washington didn't really start to cook until Travis Hunter got hurt, which I think all that is true. I still believe all of that I was saying before, but I think more of the talk has been about Travis Hunter playing the X and playing outside. So, oh no, I can't pick Tyler Warren. I have Trey McBride. Trevion, let's get some Trevion. He's been falling quite a bit. I'm kind of underweight on him, but I do totally see the upside with him. You know, you could argue Trevion's basically expensive RJ Harvey in a way, but but let's get a little bit of Trevion. I do think the upside's tremendous for him. Obviously, we saw it last year. We saw multiple 30 burgers from him. It is a little risky. The reporting on him hasn't been great. I definitely have a lot more Ramondre than I have Trevion, so I don't mind getting a little bit here. He has been falling a little, but I don't think it would take much for him to climb kind of back up in that range. I think people are pretty hyped on Trevion, so I don't mind getting a little bit more here. Not a guy I'm really going to be hammering, especially if I am seeing him more in the 6th round range, which I have in the last like day or two. But sometimes with these falls, they do end up being a little bit more short term, and maybe like 6th round Trevion is just people are a little down on him right this minute. But if he gets like even one piece of good news, he can just as easy be right back in the 5th. So let's get a little bit of Trevion right now. I think that feels fine. A little bit of value on him. We're losing value on Parker. We'll get it back on Trevion. A month ago, I could have picked these same 2 players in the opposite spots. Now we'll just pick them in this order. So that's fine. And then we get a little bit of that Parker Washington exposure, that good Parker Washington exposure. Ryan, I'm Dirty Milkers. Oh, okay. See, I feel like I knew that name, but all right. Good to know. So we got Ryan in here at the 6th spot. Hell yeah, and I can tell you're sharp. You pulled up a monitor out of 6. That's how I know you're sharp. Mecca is a guy, I think I was saying in that first draft, I'm a little bit nervous about that toe injury they were talking about. I think it's a fine pick, but the toe injury is scaring me a little bit on him. But I think it's a fine pick. Keith, kind of interesting going 4 running backs here. I kind of like that. Chase Neighbors, not just 4 straight. That's kind of an interesting start. I like that. Money anything sure would be a shame if someone drafted Devon Bailey in round 17. It sure would be, wouldn't it? I bet Bayou Bengal will probably pick him in the 16th just to make sure. But we'll see. Fantasy Fitness, BDGE. Big Dogs Gotta Eat. What about BDGE? Is one of them in the draft? BDGE. What do you mean Fantasy Fitness? Why'd you say BDGE? I mean, I love BDGE. I love Big Dogs Gotta Eat. I love Nick Galano. That's my goat. But what is one of them? One of the people in the draft or something? He's so unlucky. My insurance carrier with like a word. Yeah, no, for real, bro. He really is just unlucky. I swear it. But yeah, no, that is true. How long can you call it unlucky? How many times can the same thing happen? What is it like? That's the definition of insanity. You already know that J.K. Dobbins is going to get hurt, but I keep saying like, no, he won't this time. He won't this time, guys. Like, trust me, he's not going to this time. Damn, Dak went. Did Dak go? Yeah, damn. That's unfortunate. Do I want to pull up T-Law? Is Brian Thomas on the turn? Let's pull up T-Law. This guy has 5 receivers. I don't know who I want instead because I like Tucker Kraft quite a bit. Looks like BBM, my exposure is pretty flat on Tucker Kraft, but I do like him quite a bit, but I don't want him with McBride. Let's just lock up my T-Law with Parker. I think I know what I want next. Okay, Rico would have been who I wanted. I should have just taken Rico probably. That was maybe a mistake. I was thinking that I could push him back, and I was worried about the quarterback because, like, I was mainly worried about this guy because I didn't know what the hell he was doing. And, like, he did take Herbert. He had Ladd. I wish I should have seen that. I'm going to grab Blake Corum probably. I could get some Mekhi Lemon. I don't feel like it's enough of a fall yet, though. I feel like Mekhi Lemon needs to keep on falling. And I do want more Blake Corum. So let's get Blake Corum. Like I said, these are my BBM exposures. So it did show I'm overweight Blake Corum, but I'm underweight him in my total portfolio. So let's get a little bit more of him. I think 3rd running back feels decent there. I was really thinking about Mekhi Lemon, but I've been lower on him. I don't like the landing spot. I don't like how he's missed so much of the summer with the hamstring injury. I'm just not super in on Mekhi Lemon right now, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. I loved Mekhi Lemon pre-draft. I really like the talent. It's just with all these issues, and I hated the landing spot. I really hate the Eagles. The thing with Jalen Hurts is he's been pretty efficient throwing over the middle to where like Mekhi Lemon wins a lot, but he's done it at a super low rate in his career, right? So it's like, does he start doing that with Mekhi Lemon on the field? Because Devonta Smith can win in those same areas. So it's like, why did he never target Devonta Smith in those areas, right? And like, why would he start targeting Mekhi Lemon? So, and then Mekhi Lemon's been missing all this time in camp, like missed it in the OTAs and then got another hamstring injury to start camp. It's like, I don't know. I do want to get some eventually, but I really would like to even kind of wait a little bit longer on him and like see if he falls even a little bit more. QJ has 0% of you in his best ball stream portfolio. Hope this hurts your soul. Hey, I don't believe in QJ, and QJ doesn't need to believe in me. Fuck him. I believe in Trey Harris. I think Trey Harris is gonna snatch his chain, to be honest. So I don't even know. I don't know if Trey Harris is gonna snatch his chain. Maybe I'm being too much of a I don't know. I like betting on Trey Harris more, in that role, like to have that role more in that offense, just as cheap as he goes. I guess I like betting on Trey Harris more at cost. QJ just feels too expensive. He just feels too damn expensive. He's like a gimmick player, right? And like Mike McDaniel can use gimmick players pretty well, so it could work out. It's just I don't really see QJ like smashing. I just have such a hard time seeing it. And maybe I've just like held on to my priors too hard. I'm just hating on them, but I feel like even last year, like QJ realistically, he had a couple like big plays early, and then he had a good game or two like late, but like really in the middle stretch, he just like disappeared. I don't know. He's just never been a good like he's just never been good at beating coverage or anything. He's more just like a gimmick player. And I don't know, like he could get Yak and they could use him pretty well in that way, but I think they could use Trey Harris in that way too. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm willing to fade QJ. I'm willing to be pretty comfortable fading QJ. Um, but I can see the case. What do I want here? I don't mind Jordan Mason. Jacoby Myers is a little interesting as well. I feel like the running back drop off's bigger though, and I like quite a bit of these receivers. Like I'd probably lean Jacoby for the stack, but I like Wandale, I like Dobbs, I like KC. I'm not a big Matthew Golden guy. I know he was getting the two wide receiver set work. Maybe I do want some. I think Matthew Golden just sucks at football is my problem, right? You Bengal taking Tyler Shuck at 109. What the hell? You're taking Tyler Shuck 20 picks ahead. Do you have like Olave at least or something? No, just on stack Tyler Shuck over Bo Nix. That's crazy to me. On stack Shuck over Bo Nix is wild to me. But you do you, Bengal. You got a plan to backstack him, I'm sure. Let's do Jacoby Myers, I think. Let's get the stack going. Let's double up T-Law. That feels good to me. I wouldn't have minded like Kyler or something too. I do like Kyler quite a bit, but let's go with the Jacoby Myers. We'll double up on T-Law. That feels pretty good to me. I think Jacoby's a good price. I think I picked him in the last draft even as well. But yeah, I think Jacoby's a good price. I think we want the double. That feels good to me. Let's just get another piece with T-Law. Really kind of buy into that offense. I like that. My drafting strategy is pretty much make strong stands on a few players and then spread exposures among the rest of my rankings. That's fair. I think that's a good strategy, right? And then if you do hit, right, if well, I mean, I think you even said this on your stream, but it's like if Vele is an absolute smash and Vele crushes this year, for example, as one guy, for example, or Jonah Coleman, like you just said, like you have a bunch of, if they smash, if they crush, if they are that late round hit that you need, then I mean, then yeah, then your whole portfolio is just supercharged, right? And then like, yeah, you're still gonna have some teams that are dead, even if you do have the huge hit, but it's like any teams that are like mediocre, or maybe just barely would have missed, it's like, well, now you have that supercharging factor on them. So yeah, that totally makes sense to me. I think that's a good way to play it. I don't know. That's something I've honestly thought about a lot, like off stream and stuff, is like the whole having takes or like, do I even have takes type thing? Because it's like, on one hand, I do like having takes and like having like thoughts on players and stands on players, or like, like I like the putting the money where your mouth is type thing, right? On the players. Like, I don't know. I do think that's somewhat important, but it's also like every draft is so different and every build is so different. It's like when I get into a room, like exposures in portfolio, it is more like to me, not really about like your thing, your strategy, I think makes total sense. I think it's a good idea. But like to me, where I don't have those big stands, it's like I almost go back and forth between that mindset of like, well, I should have big stands because if they are big hits, then they will like, yeah, kind of carry that portfolio and really help it overall. But then it's also like the idea of, well, okay, to win BBM, only one team wins it, right? A portfolio doesn't win anything. Then it's like, well, then it's like, should you just in every room build the best team possible? Or it's like, should you try to force in these picks and that you have stronger conviction on? I guess a lot of it too. Rashid Shaheed's a good pick. I like Rashid Shaheed where he goes. Receivers look like they've kind of gotten swooped up a little bit. I don't mind Aaron Jones. I don't mind C-Rod either, but I don't really want Aaron Jones with Mason, I don't think. And then C-Rod is fine. I have a bag of C-Rod kind of. I don't really need a bunch more. But yeah, but I don't know with the exposure thing, it's something that I kind of always think about where it's like, because exposures don't win, like portfolio doesn't win you anything, right? To have it like spread or condensed or whatever. Like only one team wins stuff. So it's like, But it's like if I have higher conviction on guys, then it's like, yeah, you basically introduce more variance, right? Because if you're right, then you gain a bunch, and if you're wrong, then you lose some. Let's get Sam Darnold. We're apparently Sam Darnold fiends today. It's real unfortunate. You hate to see it. But we did pick Rashid Shaheed. I do want more Rashid Shaheed. That's one of the main guys I do want more of, like that I was passing up on for Diggs. That's definitely one of the guys I would like to catch up on some. I think he has a nice role in that offense. Really nice role for best ball as well, where he's just that downfield deep threat winner, could really spike into your lineup any given week. But maybe he has some zero balls. But I think this late, like he feels pretty good, like a good piece. Then that gave me that quick, easy stack. So always like that. Might look at like an AJ Barner, Torrey Horton in this one, like I was talking about before with the last one. But apparently we're loading up on Sam Darnold today for some fucking reason. Not my favorite pick, but we built it out a little bit, so it feels all right. Trevion has unquestionably the highest ceiling of all round 5 backs. Need to shoot for ceiling. People fading him are missing the objective. I think I pretty much do agree that he has the highest upside, but does he have the highest upside without an injury? I guess would be my question. Does Henderson have the upside that Tootin does? Now, granted, Tootin went in the 4th in this one, but let's pretend he went in the 5th like he usually does. Does Henderson have more upside than Bashaw Tootin or Bucky Irving without an injury? Because I really don't think he has more upside than Bashaw Tootin without an injury, honestly. I think Bashaw Tootin has higher true upside where he could Bashaw Tootin. I am not going to go crazy on him. And I do pick a decent amount of C-Rod as well, Chris Rodriguez as well, because I think there's a chance it's a good split. More of the talk lately has been it'll be a good split. But I do think Tootin has the real chance to wash his backfield and no one gets hurt. And he's a clear lead guy. He takes over. He explodes because they play on a great team, great offense, right? Where Trevion, I just have such a hard time seeing him just totally washing Ramondre without an injury happening. And then Bucky, I think Bucky maybe I could agree with because he will be kind of cucked by those other guys. But I do think Bucky's maybe enough of a talent to take back over. But he'll probably get enough taken away where he doesn't have that same true upside. And then I think Scadaboo has higher upside, but he's a 4th round pick. So that's different. Scadaboo doesn't really go in the 5th. So that's kind of a different range. I would argue Tootin has more true upside, but I think the downside's also there for Tootin. So, but I don't know. The Trevion pick's so hard because Ramondre is so good. That's the thing. Ramondre is just really not bad. As much as people want him to be bad, he's just really not bad. And I don't know. It worries me about Trevion because I like Ramondre a decent amount. And I think Trevion's a good pick because, like you said, the upside is really there. But it's how much is it there if Ramondre stays healthy, I guess, right? That's what I've always worried about with Trevion because Ramondre got hurt when those really big spikes happened for Trevion. Oh, Travis Hunter went right before me. Hilltoppers, you bastard. It's cool though. We already had a double. I don't really need to get even more Trevion. Cam Ward. Do I want Cam Ward? Probably not. Let's get Charbot. I was thinking about it last time. I almost picked him in the last draft, but I think I really do want to get even more Charbonnet. If they're going to talk bullishly about the injury, maybe I'm just being the bullish injury guy today. It seems like it, doesn't it? I'm just picking all these injured guys. I'm like, I need to get Kittle. I need to get some more Charbonnet. I love me some J.K. Dobbins. Maybe I need to reevaluate. Bayou Bengals been on Twitter. You can confirm Jacoby Lane, Pat Bryant back to back. He has certainly been on Twitter today. Omar Cooper, probably not. Dontavian Wicks, maybe. Man, this is a bad spot. I love Dalton Schultz. Let's get Wicks. Okay, we got Schultz. That's fine. That's fine. I was thinking about, I don't know, because normally in this spot, I've been picking more Trey Harris, but I have 2 week 7 buys already. So I didn't want to grab Trey Harris again. That was kind of my first thought. Omar Cooper's just been falling. Maybe I should have grabbed him. Maybe I'm believing the FUD a little bit too much. I could have grabbed him. I'm not a big Jalen Naylor guy. I'm more of a Trey Tucker guy. Maybe I should have grabbed Tucker or not Tucker. Maybe I should have grabbed Naylor or Omar Cooper. that might have been the better play there. It was a little tough because my initial thought was Trey Harris, and then he doesn't really fit the build. I kind of like some of those running backs too, but I think I'm already good with my 5. So it was a little bit of a weird spot there. I don't mind the Dalton Schultz pick and even pulling him up a little. He is one of my favorite tight end picks, but he's more of a safety pick. So I don't know if I really love him with the Trey McBride pick also. It wasn't not my best pick. I kind of panic picked there, and that wasn't the best. I should have locked in a little bit better on that one probably, but it's fine. Like I don't mind the Dalton Schultz pick. It's fine. But even like pulling up Wicks maybe would have been the better move. But I don't know. It's okay. It's fine. Yeah, I don't mind Schultz. I like Schultz a lot as a tight end pick. Henry pick, hell yeah. Love me some Derrick Henry. Oh, BD. Oh, big dog got to eat. Big dog got to eat. Henry. Okay, got you. Okay. That makes sense. I was a little bit behind in the chat, so the what do you say? It didn't make sense. The reference didn't make sense to me. And I'm good if someone wants to take Vela. I have plenty of them. I don't force it. All right, fair enough. Well, hey, I'm trying to pack my bag, so maybe I'll get a little bit in the 17th. Maybe this room will be picking them early though. This room's full of sharps, so who knows? This is a Carson Beck ass team if I've ever seen one. It is not a Carson Beck ass team. I can promise you that, Jeff. I can promise you that you won't see a Carson Beck ass team in my portfolio unless we're in the super flex streets. I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Maybe because Shadur's kind of dead, right? We'll see how Shadur looks in next week's preseason. But if I was going way off the board for my third QB, I preferred to generally go risks up for Shadur. But yeah, I mean, maybe here and there, but probably not very high odds you're going to see a Carson Beck build in my portfolio. Trust me, sounds like a BBG argument. I wonder what that was about. But trust me, I mean, hey, I learned from the best. BBG, that's my quant. I said it before when I was on BBG's stream like a week or two ago. But BBG is the one that got me into streaming, right? That's who I was watching. That's who made me decide to start streaming. So hey, I learned from the best. Trust me. I learned from the best, But no, I don't know. I don't know. It is tough sometimes. Some arguments it is really like there's really just not like the stats and data to back it up, right? It is like you got to go by the feel and the like what you're hearing or like visually what you're seeing and stuff. But yeah, it is. I don't know. It is tough with some of that stuff to I mean, I guess that's why we have different opinions and it gets oh shit. Sorry. Let's go Cyrus Allen. We've also been on Twitter. I've been on Twitter lately as well, right? It's not just the rest of the room. I saw Branch, Bayou Bengal was pulling up Jacoby Lane and Pat Bryant. These aren't the only people on Twitter. I've been on there too. I've been seeing all the hype too. Cyrus Allen been the training camp merchant that I most want to pick. Let's get me also as well. Caleb Douglas already went. What the hell? Oh, Bayou Bengal just picked him. Fair enough. Good pick, Bayou Bengal. That's a good pick. I was about to pick him. You sniped me, you son of a bitch. No, that's fine. I mean, do I want to? Kenyon's fine. We'll go with the third tight end. Let's take the upside swing on Kenyon Sadiq. I really didn't want another running back. I think I'm good. Maybe I should have grabbed like Tyjae. I already have so much Tyjae Spears though. It's like I like Tyjae Spears, but like 14% in BBM seems kind of heavy. I mean, it's a lot of week 11 buys, but Jordan Mason and Derrick Henry, they can carry me through that, right? They can get it through week 11 buy. I don't know. Maybe I should have grabbed Tyjae there, a 6th running back. Like one of these quarterbacks, I guess, is somewhat interesting. I guess I'm kind of hoping Geno comes back. But like, if not, like I'm pretty cool stopping with T-Law and Darnold. That's fine. I'm usually a 3 quarterback guy, but like if it's just gonna be like shit quarterbacks, I'm not gonna force it. Like I'll stop with 2. I think having T-Law up top is totally good to stop at 2 with Darnold. Neither of my guys are getting benched. They're both gonna start all year, and T-Law is like right on that borderline of an elite quarterback. So I'm not really gonna worry about it too much. I'll probably pick Geno if he comes back since I just got Sadiq. But if not, it's not really a big deal either. My quarterbacks are good enough. So if he doesn't come back, I probably go 2-5-8-3. And then if he does come back, I just go with the classic 3-5-7-3. That's what I'm thinking right now. Um, all right. It won't be on Stack Chuck shortly. Yeah, no, he got it covered. He got Juwan, right? Yeah, Juwan. He got Juwan going. He already had the Tampa Bay thing. That was the weird thing to me. It's like, bro, you have Godwin. Like, just pick Baker. Like, come on, bro. Just pick Baker there. But you know, I mean, the Shuck playing it through the Shuck side, get Juwan with them. I don't mind that call. I think that's fine. That's you know, that's a fine way to play it too. I like Shuck a lot, so I'm not really hating on it too much. LMAO, gotta love Shuck. Yeah. I think Shuck's a great pick in general. I really do like him buying on that Kellen Moore offense. I think he's a great pick in general. It just in that spot, you know, it was interesting in that spot. Another Darnold share, you're killing it. I know, brother. It's rough out here. It's rough out here. The room is doing disgusting things to me. They're forcing me into these Darnold shares, and I'm not happy about it. But it's still Darnold over Malik Willis. I'll stand on that. You know, I hate Malik Willis, so maybe a rational person would have picked Malik Willis there. But for me, it's Sam Darnold. So I got the Shaheed stack though right before. So, that was kind of the only option left. Bryce Young didn't make it back to me at any point. Yeah, Bryce Young went at 151, which is pretty early for Bryce Young. Wow. Why? Why did this guy do that? No reason. He just was feeling Bryce Young. Bryce Young over Cam Ward. Cam Ward looked like shit in that preseason game, and he's not having any of it. He just said, give me Bryce Young over Cam Ward at that point. I saw the preseason game. Give me Bryce Young. Okay, so Geno goes. A little unfortunate. He went on the turn. That's whatever. Let's get a receiver. I do like Jeremy. I'm a big Jeremy guy. I'm not a big Jerry Jeudy guy, as you can tell, 0%. I think we'll hold strong with the 0% Jerry Jeudy. I know he was starting today. I don't really care. I think Jerry Judy's kind of washed. I think give me either of those rookies. Give me Harold Fannin. I think Jerry Judy's going to be the fourth receiver on the team halfway through the year, especially in the money week. So I don't know. I'm avoiding him. Maybe I'm hating too hard. Maybe he's an okay pick. We let Bengal get Vele. I was thinking about it, but we let him get his Vele. We're going to take some Jeremy. He looked pretty good in the preseason as well. Let's get Torrey Horton. I talked about getting him last draft, and I didn't end up getting him. Let's get Torrey Horton here. We'll get another stacked up piece for Darnold there. That feels decent. I'm not a big Jacoby Brissett guy. Maybe I should have picked Jacoby Brissett, I guess. I had Trey McBride. I'm kind of a hater on these Cardinals. I'm kind of a hater on the Cardinals as a whole, to be honest. Maybe I should have just picked Jacoby Brissett. That honestly it's fine. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a ton of confidence he starts all year. I think they're going to suck. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's why I have so little Trey McBride too. Like, I'm really just not super bought in on the Cardinals. I really didn't lock in much on this draft, to be honest with you. You guys probably got some plus EV off me. So, at least we had that going. At least it was a friends and family lobby. So you guys were able to gain the EV off me. But I don't know. Maybe Jacoby Brissett would have been the move. I do have Trey McBride. I really don't like Jacoby Brissett, though. Maybe I should have went with him over Jeremy, because Jeremy didn't really do anything for this. I already have a lot of Jeremy. Maybe I should have just done Jacoby Brissett over him. That wouldn't have been the worst call. Yeah, that probably would have been the right move, like structurally. But at the end of the day, it's just like I prefer Jeremy to Jacoby Brissett. I just really don't believe in Jacoby Brissett much, or the Cardinals much. He goes with the very last pick. That's fair. This guy gets a second QB with Jacoby Brissett. Damn. Jaden Daniels, Jacoby Brissett, pick 216. Damn, what a baller. And he had it stacked up too. He had double Arizona. He had Michael Wilson and Jeremiah Love. I wonder if he would have taken Carson Beck if I would have taken Jacoby Brissett. That's intriguing to me. All right. So your soothing sound. Hey, what's up? Your soothing sound. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Thoughts on Zach Charbonnet. I would say right now for best ball, right now I am buying Zach Charbonnet. I don't have a ton of them. I have like 6%, 7%, something like that. So I'm slightly underweight. I would say I'm buying. They're talking about him possibly coming back week 6 to 8. Sounds like the range. I think if he's back in that range, I think he's a pretty solid pick right now at he goes around 160, I believe. Right? Yeah, 159. So yeah, and I was at 8% in BBM. But yeah, I think right now, if he's going to be back week 6, I think he's a great, great value. If he's back like week 8 or right around then, I think he's still a pretty fair price. I think, especially in the game that we're playing, I think also I would say that Zach Charbonnet depends a lot on my team build. Like this, I feel pretty comfortable with my top 4. I feel like I have a pretty strong top 4 for my running back room. Like Trevion as a 2 is maybe a little lighter, I guess, in theory, but I do like my top 4. They're all guys who are going to get on the field, give me points every week. So I feel like with this build, I can kind of eat maybe a 5th who won't be on the field every week, like early. And I think Charbonnet just feels really good on these builds for late season upside. I think he's a good price right now. I think I'm willing to buy. I'm trying to buy more Charbonnet right now. All the injury stuff has sounded very optimistic on him. Like he'll return well ahead of timeline, well ahead of like the original thought schedule. So I think I want to buy, and he was getting so much of that goal line work. He gets receiving work. They trust him a lot, obviously, with those high leverage touches. And the one thing I will say about Jadarian Price, for all the good people say about Jadarian Price, he has a fumbling issue as well. He had 3 fumbles last year on not very many carries, like 140 carries or something. He had 3 fumbles. So he's not the best ball security guy or anything like that as far as Jadarian Price goes. So, I think Charbonnet could definitely regain his goal line, his high leverage touch role in that sense relatively quickly after he's back if he is healthy. So I'm willing to buy a Charbonnet right now, personally. Sam Darnold is 36% Hartman in his best ball streaming portfolio. The love is mutual. Brother, I hate it. We're not picking Sam Darnold again. I will promise you that. You guys can take every other quarterback in front of me and drop Darnold 30 picks. I will not pick him again today on this stream. That is a promise I will make right now. What's up, Hartman? What we drafting next? Hey, what's up, Paulino? Thanks for stopping by, bro. We're gonna draft. I got a poll in the chat right now. Go ahead, vote in the chat if you haven't already. We're gonna get into that draft right after this, so we'll get into another one. Whatever one's the poll, up to you guys. I do think the Shaheed Darnold stack is underrated. I agree. I think it's a nice little stack you can make, just a quick ready-made stack. You're probably getting the wide receiver 2 on the team and stacking them with the quarterback. And then you still have the option of Barner, of Charbonnet, I guess, is a stack technically, but of like Barner, Torrey Horton, Cooper Kupp later as well. I think Darnold feels good in that sense, where you have a lot of options, you have a lot of outs to get with them. So that feels pretty good in that sense. F week 11 RB points. I noticed that. I have 3 week 11 buys at running back. I was hoping we could slide that under the radar, but Jeff's always watching. He caught it. Jeff did catch it. I noticed that when I passed on Tajay, and that's what I was really thinking about Tajay, because I'm like, do I want a 6th like with the 3 week 11s? I was like, nah, Jordan Mason and D Hember can carry me. But that is fair. I've been sleeping all day. What's happening on Twitter? Oh no, you just picked the hype guys. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, Jacoby Lane, Pat Bryant, like you pick the big risers, not necessarily Twitter, but Jacoby Lane more the Twitter guy because he gets all the clips every day. But you got the big, camp hype guys, and on that one turn, I got to get my Douglas shares up around 16 is where he goes. Yeah, see, I'm already up in BBM. This is my BBM exposure. We got 11% Caleb Douglas in BBM. We're already there. We up on Caleb Douglas. We're already there, but only in BBM. My normal portfolio is lower on him, but we got a decent chunk in BBM at least. I like Sadiq in 3 tight end builds. His athletic profile screams upside. Needs the other 2 tight ends to cover the injury risk. I agree. I haven't really been as high on Sadiq, but I do think he fits in a build like this. McBride, Schultz, Sadiq, I think is actually like fine. I don't need the 3rd tight end, but I do like the upside. He can hit my flex in theory, right? So I do think a build like this is a fine place to put him. And I did wait a long time on my 2nd tight end as well. So I don't think I crazy overspent with an elite, but I would have been fine with 2. I think Sadiq does fit though for the upside swing, and he can hit flex. So I think it made sense on this build. Every QB with at least 100 rushing attempts has finished as the top 12 QB in fantasy. Malik Willis most likely mispriced, trying to get more of him down the stretch. Yeah, no, that's fair. I saw the stat. That's true. But I mean, yeah, no, it's true. I mean, how many of them though had wide receiver 1 Malik Washington, wide receiver 2 Caleb Douglas? It is true. Historically, they do hit. They do hit historically when they have those rush attempts. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to believe in personally. It's hard for me to believe in just with the lack of talent on the team. He has been looking better. Maybe I should get a little bit more Malik Willis. That's kind of one of those guys I've been hating on. I watched every single throw he made last year on the Packers. I did watch that video. I even watched it a second time, and it wasn't very impressive, to be honest, but the rushing is a huge benefit. It could be worth going for it. It could be worth getting a little bit more of them, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't love the bet. I really like getting in the group right before him, to be honest. But maybe like in that spot, if it could have got me away from Sam Darnold, I probably should have taken Malik Willis like in a spot like that. So you're probably right. There's spots where I could take a little bit more of Malik Willis. This draft being a prime example, I should have probably went with him over Sam Darnold. Just go for the upside swing in Malik Willis rather than Sam Darnold. I think that would have been a fair call. So yeah, I don't know. I don't hate the call. I did see that stat though too. It is intriguing, and the rushing is a big benefit for the quarterbacks. I'm just not a huge believer in him as a talent, but he has been looking better. And I don't know this if the scheme is good, if he has been looking better, if those receivers are maybe a little bit better than we're thinking coming in. I don't know. He is a guy I maybe should get a little bit more of, especially in that range. I don't hate the call. Super Bowl champ Darnold is badass. I'm not joking. All right, let's chill out, fans. Finish. Chill out, brother. Chill out. I don't know about that. He's all right. He's mid. Sam Darnold's mid. I will not. Let's look at Sam Darnold. Sammy slings 4,000, 25 touchdowns, 14 picks. Most mid shit I ever seen in my life. No rushing, no crypto, no host. No, I don't know. Yeah, Sam Darnold's all right. I mean, he's all right. And maybe they do pass a little bit more in this offense. I'm willing to buy into that. So he's a fine pick. I mean, he's fine. And did he get carried by his defense and running backs? Did he not even win Super Bowl MVP when he won the Super Bowl as the quarterback? Yes. Is all that true? Yes. Could he still be an okay pick where he goes? Also, yes. But I mean, Super Bowl champ, like he was probably the least important player for that Super Bowl. Like, let's be real. He didn't hardly do shit in that Super Bowl. I mean, who's the leading receiver? Like Cooper Kupp with like 50 yards? Like, I'm hating. I'm hating a little bit. Your 8 teams are not. Yeah, I'll check them out. In a second. I will check them out. But see, that's the one downside of all this, right? I get a little bit behind on the comments, so I got to catch up. Then we got to check out the teams. Then I got to catch back up. Then we draft. So it's a little bit of a process. I got to be honest with you. We'll try to get through them decently quick and get into another draft. And hey, go ahead. If you guys haven't already, drop a like, drop a sub, and go vote in the poll. Vote for what you want to draft next. Go vote in the poll down below. Then we'll get into that, and I don't know, it'll probably be like 15 minutes, to be honest with you. 15, 20 minutes will probably be another draft. It takes a couple minutes, but we'll get through it. We'll get through the chat. We'll check out the teams, all that. I'm team Carson Beck over Brissett. I don't hate the call. If you're saying like Carson Beck's going to play in the money weeks, I want my quarterback for the money weeks. I don't hate the call. I'm not a like total believer Brissett's like guaranteed to get benched, but yeah, I don't mind that call. I think that's fine. I'm more just not buying either one, to be honest with you, but I really don't mind the call of Beck over Brissett. Off me is crazy. Off me is crazy. I don't even know what I said. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry. I don't know. That was a crazy draft for me. We shall see. We'll check it out in just a second. If Sharps easily takes back that backfield, that means Price and Line aren't great. If that's true, how you holding back Wilson? If Sharps easily takes back that backfield, that means Price and Alani aren't great. If that's true, how you holding back Wilson? I mean, do you think Emmanuel Wilson's great? He got like a $1 million contract. Emmanuel Wilson's 27 years old also. It's not like he's some spring chicken that like we just haven't seen or anything. Like he's been in the NFL for a minute and he just hasn't really done a ton. And I think he's kind of a limited player. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Emmanuel Wilson, he looked okay like last year in a couple games. Like, don't get me wrong. I like if you want to make the swing on him, I think it's fine. It's not crazy, but I just haven't really heard any Emmanuel Wilson hype. And it's not like they paid him a ton. They've been really talking about Polanyi. Obviously, they spent a first round pick on Price. Like, I think Price is also going to wash Halani too. I don't think Halani's going to do much, even though like he's been getting some good coach speak and all that. But I mean, Charbonnet's a good running back. He's a good NFL running back. Charbonnet took Ken Walker off the field, and Ken Walker just got a $15 million a year deal. Like Charbonnet's good. Charbonnet is not a bad running back, right? And I think that's kind of the thing. Like Charbonnet's proven as a good running back. I mean, yeah, Ken Walker. I mean, he took Ken Walker off the field. Ken Walker just got 15 mil a year from the Chiefs. It's like I think Charbonnet is really good, and I think Price is good and dynamic. I think that he might have some ball security issues though, and that might really hurt the high leverage touches he's able to get. I also think Price is not proven at all as a pass catcher, which is kind of where Halani comes in. Because Emmanuel Wilson's also not really a pass catcher. It's more like Halani's kind of that guy, right? So I feel like that's where Price could kind of also lose out because he's not proven in that sense, although he could be a dynamic pass catcher. We just don't know yet, right? And they have talked about using him that way more. So that one's a little bit more shaky, I guess, whether Price is a pass catcher or not. But I think it's just that Price is potentially a limited player in some aspects, and Halani is also a limited player, but he has some like pass catching. And I guess I just don't know if Emmanuel Wilson like really can get on the field over those guys, like because he's not much of a pass catcher, and can he get on the field as over Price as a rusher? Um, Bayou Bengal got his round 18 guy. Yep. Yeah, no, I should have sniped Vele from him. I didn't think of it at the time. I don't think about Vele until round 18 actually comes. I should have picked him over Jeremy, to be honest. I was making some mistakes. You're too locked in. I was not locked in during the draft, but I'm locked in now. What's up, pups? Hey, what's up, Pepper Tony? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Hey, Pepper Tony. I'm here for vibes first, then drafts. Hell yeah, brother. Oh yeah, and that's good because I'm not drafting that hot. How many massives you plan on doing? We're saving them towards the end, but maybe about 10 or so. We'll see. No, unfortunately, we're not in the massive streets. We don't quite got the bread like that, unfortunately. Maybe next year, maybe once this team cashes for 2 mil, maybe then we'll be hopping in the massive streets, but probably none this year. Don't got quite the bread for it. I will say the one thing, I will be doing some big gorilla drafts on stream probably in the next coming weeks. I'll be doing some of those, the like 350 entry FFPC. I think I'm planning on doing like 3 of them on stream in the next couple weeks. Probably at least one of them. Well, at least one of them with Fantasy Football Garage with Candyman. Maybe 2. I don't know if he's gonna want to do second one or if he wants to just do one. We're definitely gonna get him one together for sure, and then maybe a second one, and then I'm definitely gonna do another one like really close to kickoff or something too. So I'll be doing some of the 350s, but that's about as high as I can go right now. That's about my limit right now. He's not great, but he's a dog. We haven't seen Price Nalani as a special teams guy. That's fair. That's fair. If you look at a lot, like I'm not a big Halani guy. There's the Halani boys, the Halani hive out there, right? I'm not really a big Halani guy by any means, but he has gotten a lot of good coach speak, and they've just talked very confident about how much they trust him and like using him in the goal line and stuff as well, and using him in the receiving game. Halani actually did get some receiving usage last year. If you look, his receiving usage was kind of there. So nothing crazy, but I do think he can get on the field in that sense where I don't really think Emmanuel Wilson is much of a pass catcher. So I think Halani can get on the field in that sense, but I don't know. It is true, especially if you're more of a Price hater. I think that's a big thing too. If you're really anti Jadarian Price, if you think he's like, he just got overdrafted because they forced like a running back, they really needed a running back and they forced it and he got overdrafted. I think if you believe that about Jadarian Price, that makes the Emmanuel Wilson click a whole lot more appealing. So I don't hate that argument. I'm just willing to believe in Jadarian Price a little bit more than that, honestly. But like at the same time, like I said, Emmanuel Wilson is not getting drafted very often. He goes very late. I don't mind it as a leverage click to get different. It's not a crazy thought. And the competition is kind of weak. And Charbonnet is coming off a major knee injury. So I don't hate the call. It's just not really a bet that I'm personally making very much. Smash the like, guys. Hey, what's up, Crumb? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. And yeah, smash that like if you haven't already. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. The structure's so good, and I think gonna overlay. I'm doing at least one and more if I bink some WNBA LMAO. The Mastiff, really nice. I mean, you think it'll overlay? That's kind of interesting. Let's actually take a look at that real quick, and we will look at the teams. We'll look at the teams. Don't worry. So let's see, 1,000. It's only 540 entrants, though. I mean, I think it's risky with stuff like this to like know for sure for overlay. I mean, obviously you can kind of play it by ear, see as it gets closer. But I don't know. It's at 36%, 200 entrants basically in it, 195. If it got closer to overlay though, I think that could be a pretty good. I mean, it's definitely good EV just in general. Like it's always going to be a good tournament. 4 out of 12, then decent chance to make the finals. Tiny finals, only a 9-seat final. So I mean, it definitely is a good tournament. 12K just for making the finals. So yeah, I mean that's definitely pretty nice, right? I think yeah, if there's going to be some overlay in it, I mean, these are already going to be the lowest rake tournaments. Going to be some of your better odds of making the finals. Really good initial advancement. So yeah, I mean, I think that that's like if it looks like it'll have any overlay, it's already probably one of the best contests on the site. So if it looks like it'll have any overlay, then it probably is worth it if you can fit it into your bankroll. It probably is worthwhile to fit those in, honestly. So yeah, I mean that's probably a good call, honestly. I don't think I'll probably be doing it, but it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, and that is a good point. I'm more worried about the Seahawks being a disgusting split for fantasy purposes. I am also kind of worried about that. Let's actually, real quick, before we look at that BBM, let's look at my Seahawks exposure. Oops. Seahawks. So this is 316 post draft teams. I have 6% Rashid Shaheed. That's climbing, though. Like I said, I was taking a lot of Stephon Diggs over him. That's climbing. We got 6% AJ Barner. We got 6% Sharbo, 5% JSN. That feels pretty good. 4% Darnold. That feels fine. 4% Price. That feels fine. 4% Cooper Kupp. 2% Torrey Horton. That's fine. Maybe I want a little bit more of him and a little bit less Kupp, but that's fine. We have $2 invested in Emmanuel Wilson. Hell yeah, brother. So look at that. I don't have any George Halani in my portfolio. I do have $2 invested in Emmanuel Wilson. So I'm with you, Ryan. It's fuck George Halani. We're Emmanuel Wilson boys over here. I have $2 whole on him. But no, I don't know. I'm not really into the Seahawks this year. I think that with Kubiak gone, with them losing losing Walker and Charbonnet for at least the first half of the year, I don't have much belief in Darnold. I don't have a ton of belief in the new OC. The new OC is a little interesting coming from San Francisco, I believe. But I don't know. I think Clint Kubiak's a really great OC, and I really think they did a lot off of the run game and off of the play action. So I'm pretty worried about them taking a big step back as an offense this year. Yeah, so I'm just not really buying in on them a ton, to be honest with you. And I do worry. It's kind of like that thing that Jeff said about the running back, the splits. Like, I can get Charbonnet really cheap, and if he is going to be back by like week 6 or 8 or something like that, somewhere in that range, I do want to get more. But like Price, I just worry like Price might start out decent and then just kind of seed a lot of the high value work like second half of the year. He might be in kind of the Walker role, right? And we saw Walker go in the 5th round last year, and it's like he just wasn't a great pick. He loses so much work to Charbonnet, and I don't know. It's really worrying me about Price. And then Price, he's not really a proven receiver like we were saying too. So that's a little worrying. I do think, maybe that's a little overblown just because he wasn't able to get much opportunity in general in college, but it's a little concerning, right? Definitely not something you love to see that he's like not as proven in that aspect. All right, so let's check out the teams, and then we'll get into another draft. First round pick gonna have the most opportunity unless he stinks. Other dudes are Jags. I agree with you. With you're talking about Jadarian Price. I do agree. I just worry about end of the year when it's like the money weeks. I worry if Charbonnet is back then and he is like already ramped up and healthy. I worry about how much he takes away because I do think Charbonnet is a pretty good running back, and I think they trust him a lot in the high leverage areas of the field is the bigger issue. I think the Seahawks have a lot of trust in Charbonnet. And that was what we saw with Walker, right? That just always killed Walker too. So, but Price could break out and really just take over. And maybe I should bake that in a little bit more and get a little bit more exposure to him. But it's mostly just I'm worried about late season for Price. I really do think early, like Price will look pretty good and like really kind of wash Halani and Wilson. But I just worry about late, like once Charbonnet is back, how much does he take away? But I don't think Price is like a terrible pick because there is a big tier drop off at running back after Price. Like it's kind of like between like Henderson and like the Jalen Warren, Ramondre. It's like which side of that divide do you think Price is on? Do you think he's closer to the 5th round guys, or is he closer to that like 6-7 turn guys? And I personally believe he's closer to the 6-7 turn guys than like the start of their tier, which is why I don't pick him much. But if you view him kind of like the end of the tier that has like Bucky and Tootin and Trevion and Swift and all them, then I can see why you would be more in on Price. But I personally view him like almost like the start of the next tier. So I prefer to get like the Pollards, Ramondres, even like Warren at cost, I probably prefer to price. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm more of a Rico guy, but Ramondre and Pollard, I definitely prefer to price at cost. Fantasy Football Garage, GM. Hey, what's up, Fantasy Football Garage? Thanks for stopping by, bro. And if you guys don't know, definitely check out the Fantasy Football Garage. He's streaming all the time. He's kind of the late night streamer. He streams about like 7:30 our time. He streams around this time most nights. So definitely check him out if you don't know. Angry Dragon FF, I'm finally up late enough to watch, brother. Hey, what's up, Angry Dragon? Nice to stop by, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I guess we got a little bit of the late night streams. You know, this is a little bit later than I usually start for the weekends, but yeah, no, nice seeing the chat. Always happy to see it. You know, shout out Angry Dragon. Angry Dragon, you sorry, I saw Jeff's comment. We'll get to Jeff's comment in a second. Angry Dragon, you doing content and stuff still? You've been in the content streets at all? I know I've seen you on a few different streams and stuff. I saw you on Who Aim stream, but you've been in the content streets. You've been drafting. Money anything with $2 mini Wilson share will feed families. Let's hope so, brother. I wonder what contest even cost $2. I don't even remember what that could have been, but hey, if it hits for like 20K or whatever was at the top, we'd be happy about that, huh? It might be like 2 Dalmatians even. Maybe it's even 2 contests. You know, that'd be nice. Yeah, I agree. Sharps is going to be annoying. Yeah, and maybe I guess it's just really the debate of how much does he take away and how much does he ramp up. And there's so much mystery around his injury, honestly. Like, originally I was kind of more like in on Price because it's like, oh, well, Charbonnet, you know, he's coming back from this major injury. But they keep talking like he's going to play like halfway through the year, and it's getting kind of scary. Price equals Love, Wilson equals Algier. Man, I mean, maybe. I don't hate the call. In that sense, I don't hate the call, but like, okay, if that's the case, then what happens when Charbonnet comes back to Wilson? What happens at that point? Because then Wilson, is he just the guy to help you get there and then he's not really useful? And in round 18, that's enough. You feel comfortable with that? That's fine. I think that would be fine, but I don't know. I just don't really see Wilson being useful later in the year. And I question how useful he is early in the year, I guess. That's my main idea. If you really don't like Halani, you don't believe in Halani, that's fine. I think that's an okay reason to bet on Wilson. Like, as you can see, I wasn't even betting on Halani either. It's not like I'm picking Halani over him. I just don't really think either of them has much of a meaningful role once Charbonnet's back and once Price and Charbonnet are both on the field. But I mean, if you're really wanting to bet against the Charbonnet return from injury as well, I think that's fine too. You don't want to know what I do for $2. No, I don't, Jeff. No, I don't. No. Keep that to yourself. Oh yeah, boy, had some solo stuff, but we just started up Squib Fantasy Redraft League with a lot of So You Think You Can Tout guys. Gonna be a fun time. Oh yeah, I saw you guys posting on Twitter. Yeah, definitely check out the Squib League. I will say that's a competing league. I'm in my own content creator league, and I think we're putting out content soon. The Iron Throne FF. It actually has some similar people, funny enough. You know, the Toxic Towers in both leagues. So you know, the Squib League, though, I did see you guys announcing it. They got basically, if you guys were watching the Tout Show, it's like all those guys. They got Tony Squares, Alex Cups, Angry Dragon, PBR Tyler, Emo Cowboy, Trevor, the Trevor guy. Chad Candles in it. I don't think Chad Candles was in it. Was he? Let me know if Chad Candles is in it. But I don't know. It was like all the Tout guys. It was like Michael O'Hara's in it. But yeah, like all the Tout guys. So yeah, definitely check that out. Squib League, it looked pretty cool. So there was some lady in it. I don't know who she was, but some lady in it. So, you know, female representation. So that's already beating most fantasy football content in the space. But yeah, no, that looked pretty cool. The Squib League, yeah, definitely check that out. Got Angry Dragon in there too. So nice to see that. I don't believe in Love, Price, or Holandi, LOL. All right, hey, I mean that's fair. I don't believe in Love. Oh, you don't like Jeremiah Love either? That's fair. I don't love Jeremiah Love either. I like Tyler Algier more at cost, but that's fair. If you don't really believe in those guys, then I think it is an okay bet. I think you are betting a little bit against the odds, but he goes so late. Like, I can't really hate on 18th rounder too much, you know. Actually gonna make content with it. All right, nice. Yeah, no, I saw some of the stuff. I saw some of the stuff on Twitter and all that. Yeah, no, definitely check out Squib League if you guys don't know. They're just putting out their initial like teaser stuff and all that like this past week. That's awesome. I'll check out yours as well. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it seems like the fantasy league is the idea is kind of popping off. I think ever since the success of the flock league, to be honest, it's been I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. I kind of like it too because it's a good way for a lot of like a lot of the people in the one that I'm in, like it's like Who Hames is in it, Nice and Blunt's in it, the Toxic Tower's in it, Steve from Fanspeak, Eric Bimeford from Spike Week, Joe Pisapia's in it, which is pretty. I was pretty hyped about that one. I've been watching Joe Pisapia for like 5 fucking years or longer, maybe. I don't even know. But like, I don't know, it was pretty sick. Like Jeff Blaylock from Football Guys in it. So, we got some cool people in it, like I'm pretty hyped about. But I think just the idea, that idea has been kind of growing, I think, in the last couple of years with the BDGE league, the flock league, like the your idiot league mates from BDGE type thing. I think just we've seen the genre kind of growing and all that. And yeah, it just seems like a good opportunity, a good kind of path. And I think for a lot of like what I was getting at was the guys in our league, I think so many of them are like best ball content creators who don't really do as much in-season stuff. So it's nice to have kind of like, this is a way you can get some in-season content out. You can get kind of into that redraft like sector and all that. So I think it's nice in that sense too. I'm just here for a good time. No Chad, 2 females. LOL. Damn, you guys are going crazy. That's a crazy ratio for the fantasy football space. Can't believe it. Oh yes, you got a fun crew. Oh yeah. No, I'm definitely pretty hyped for it. Having another league to manage would make my brain explode. Luckily, I've managed to cut back on my managed leagues quite a bit. I got my OG home league. I have one other like home league type thing that I've been in for almost like 10 years. But my OG home league I've been in for like 15. And then the other kind of home league, kind of like friend league. And then I got one other league that's my little brother's. That's a best ball league, though. He does a best ball home league. So that one works out good. No managing in that one. But I have my 2 OG home leagues. The one of them is a full non-PPR standard scoring, which I love. No PPR at all, the way it's meant to be. I believe in you, Bayou. Hell yeah. Yeah, we all believe in Bayou. But all right. I think we caught up enough. I didn't get invited to leagues. I'm a small fry and I love it. Bayou, you got a decent, you have like one of the bigger communities out of any of the people in like this space, in this little community, right? Out of the best ball community. Like you have one of the bigger communities, honestly. But yeah, I don't know like how it I don't honestly, well, okay, I will say the one Angry Dragons in, that one seems like it's mostly all the tout people, and then they found some women as well. But it's mostly just all the so you think you can tout people. So if you were in that show, I don't really think you got much of an invite. And Angry Dragon was like a pseudo member of that show. But, but but I think that one that was maybe again that one. This one, I guess I don't really know how Ruben, the main guy's Ruben. He has like a gaming channel on YouTube, but I don't know how he actually found all the people and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It is, I don't know. It's just random. It's just kind of random, I think, for some of it. Truly just love most of the people in this community and just happy to be around and having a blast. Hey, no, that's facts, Angry Dragon. I will say a lot of people in the community are very nice, very welcoming. The community has been very kind to me, very kind in general. I would say, especially on the YouTube side, people are generally pretty nice and pretty kind. You get on Twitter, it gets a little bit toxic over there sometimes, I've noticed, but over on the YouTube, it seems pretty friendly, pretty inviting in general to everyone. So always good to see that. True Angry Dragon, very pseudo. Yeah, very, very pseudo. But you almost made it. You were in the vote. Dragon, please help me defend Emmanuel Wilson. Help out Ryan defend Emmanuel Wilson. While you're writing out all your Emmanuel Wilson defenses, we're gonna check out the teams finally. Like I said, you asked if I was doing another draft. We are doing another draft. This is just a process, like I said. So we're gonna get to it. All right. So we're gonna look at my team, Bayou Bengal, Dirty Milkers, Digger. Great name, by the way, Ryan. Digger, and then Super Beast. If anyone else was in here, let me know, because I don't know if like Hilltoppers or DJ Spinoza were in here. But if you were in here, you want me to check out your team, let me know. But we're gonna check out Super Beast, Digger, Dirty Milkers, me, and Bayou Bengal. All right. We'll start with my team. I kind of already went over it, but Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, kind of a weak QB room. It's fine, but it's like on the weaker side for sure. Derrick Henry, Trevion Henderson, Blake Corum, Jordan Mason, Zach Charbonnet. I like a running back room like this. I don't love all the week 11 buys, but I do kind of like the room overall. I think it's layered out pretty well. I think it like fits together pretty good. Yeah, it's okay. I don't love this team, to be honest. CeeDee Lamb, Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, Rashid Shaheed, Cyrus Allen, Jeremy Bernard, Torrey Horton, Trey McBride, Dalton Schultz, Kenny Sadiq. Sorry about that. I think my tight end room is strong, obviously, with Trey McBride up top and then still going 3. We got Kenyon Sadiq for more just that huge upside swing late. Maybe it's my flex a little bit. Receiver, I think receiver's pretty good. It's okay. It's not great. I did get 3 like pretty good guys early, kind of buying into that whole Parker Washington thing on this team, obviously. I think Jacoby's okay as a 4. Shaheed's okay as a 5. It's not great though. I think overall the team is okay. It it's definitely not my favorite. It doesn't feel like super weak in any room. Probably quarterback's the weakest room, and it's still okay. But I just don't really feel like I have a super like big strength other than like tight end, which isn't the best spot to have a huge strength at. So I think it's okay. And if like Trevion's a big breakout, or if Blake Corum's kind of a breakout, or Jordan Mason, I think if any of my later running backs are kind of like the breakout guy or something, it could be pretty good. And the receiver room's not like terrible. It's fine, but not my favorite team. It's kind of mid, to be honest. I don't love this team at all. It's like okay. Let's check out Bayou Bengal, 2583, Lamar and Shuck. Lamar and Shuck's a good 2 QB room, like that. Maybe reached a little bit on Shuck, but that's fine. That's your boy. But definitely fine with that QB room. Saquon, Omarion Hampton, Javante, Rico, Brian Robinson. That's a strong running back room. So like the triple anchor early, and then you still get Rico as a 4. So really, really strong running back room there. Like the Brian Robinson pick as a late add-on as well. Just an upside swing. I like him always on the builds. Then you go at receiver. Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas, Chris Godwin, Jacoby Lane, Pat Bryant, Caleb Douglas, Jerry Jeudy, Devon Vele, Pitts, Andrews, Juwan Johnson. I think this team is going to be a little bit too weak at receiver. I think this looks like an eliminator has to build a little bit. Not totally, but I think Jacoby Lane, wide receiver 4, is pretty light for a 4. And it's not like you have like superstars up top either. Like if you started like 3 straight receivers, then you go Jacoby Lane as a 4. I feel like I can maybe see that a little bit more, but with Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas, Chris Godwin as your top 3, I think this is just going to be too weak behind it. I think receiver is going to be a little bit too shaky, honestly. I feel like some of this tight end capital should have went at receiver. I don't really think you needed Juwan there or Andrews. Like you should have passed on one of them, or on Pitts, but you should have passed on probably like one of these tight ends and put it at receiver, in my opinion. I think other than that, I mean, the other rooms are all good. I just think receiver is going to be a little bit too shaky, personally. I think it's like okay, especially for top 3 hit, but it's probably too thin at receiver, honestly, for me. The other rooms are really strong though. So if you do get some hits, I will say the one thing, you have a lot of young guys who are getting a lot of hype. So if some of your young guys later hit pretty big, then I think you definitely get there because your other rooms are all very strong. But I think the receiver is definitely going to be shaky if like those young guys don't really break out in a meaningful way. Check out Ryan, Dirty Milkers, 2583 as well. Jared Goff Baker. Jared Goff Baker's fine. That's like a fine QB room, not like strong or nothing, but it's like enough to get by, good enough to stop at 2. That's fine. Then you go Jacobs, Jonathan Brooks. Where'd you get Brooks? 67. That's fine. Picking Brooks at 67 is fine. I'm a Brooks guy, but the price of the Brooks is definitely going up. But that's fine though. Jacobs, Jonathan Brooks, RJ Harvey, Tyler Algier, Kamani Vidal. I think that's a fine running back room. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. Like, I think RJ Harvey is still a fine third. I know I was saying I'm not as in on him, but I still think he's a fine third. I really like Algier as a 4th, actually. That's like one of my favorite clicks in that range. So I really like the Algier click. I like the Kamani Vidal late pick too. I think, just with them talking about maybe splitting reps more on the Chargers and just that being such a good high upside offense, I do think that's a fine 5th. So I think the running back room is fine overall. Obviously you're putting some faith in Jonathan Brooks, but I don't mind that. I like Brooks too. So, and I really think Jacobs is a good price right now. So running back's fine. Amon-Ra Agbuka, Devontae Adams, Debo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Keyshawn Bowie, Ted Hurst, Darnell Mooney, Brock Bowers, Laporta, Gadsden. Do you have Herbert? You don't have Herbert. I probably wouldn't have taken Gadsden. Your tight ends are crazy, crazy strong already. I probably put Gadsden at running back or receiver, honestly. I probably put him at skill position and stop at 2 tight ends if I was you. But let's see, the receiver room, it's okay. I think like I like the top 3 quite a bit. I like Amon-Ra, Mecca, Devontae. I think Debo's a fine 4th. Juwan as a 5th is maybe a slight bit light, but you did get volume after that, right? Because you went with 8. So you did get a little extra volume there. I think receivers fine with these. I think you got enough volume. You know, you pushed it a little bit after Devontae, but I think you got good enough guys behind that. And then tight end probably got a little bit more than necessary with these 3. So I probably make Gadsden something else. Or I skip on Laporta and I get like Gadsden on a different 3rd tight end, like even cheaper or something like that. But I think it's a fine build. I don't think it's like very weak anywhere. I think this is like pretty solid all around. Yeah, pretty solid all around. Like no super weaknesses or anything. Yeah, like I said, just maybe a little bit much at tight end, but that's fine. That's not crazy. Because Gadsden's pretty cheap at this point as well. So it's not like you went like crazy high capital and got like Kyle Pitts as a 3rd or some shit like that. Let's shout out Digger. 3573, the classic, you know, high advance rate build, the best build, as people would say. Drake May, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy. Damn, so that's a crazy, crazy strong quarterback room. I'm intrigued to see how the rest of the team looks for this, because this is an insanely strong quarterback room. I feel like something's going to have to suffer on this team for this quarterback room to look like this. DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monaghan, Kenny Gainwell, Woody Marks, Jonah Coleman. I mean, people thought my bye weeks were bad. I have 3 week 11 buys, but I have Derrick Henry and Jordan Mason to cover it. You have DeAndre Swift, Monaghan, Kenny Gainwell, and Jonah Coleman. So you got Woody Marks to cover 2 running back spots week 10. That's gonna be rough. That's gonna hurt. That is gonna hurt. I think the running back room is okay. I don't know if I love having 2 Bears as your top guys. Like, I feel like in a vacuum, I don't even mind Kyle Monaghan as your RB2 and then Gainwell as your 3. But with Swift, I don't love it. You know, it's decent for floor and this should be a high scoring offense, but it does make it feel a little bit thinner. It feels like it would kind of lack ceiling sometimes. So I think it's okay. And if the Bears have a down game as a whole, then you're really kind of hurting, right? With having both of them as your top 2. So running back, I mean, the week 10 thing is going to hurt. The double Bears, it's okay because they're a good offense, but I don't love it as your 1 and 2. Gainwell's a fine 3rd. Woody's a fine 4th. Coleman's a fine 5th. So I think it's okay. I just don't love the double Chicago. And then obviously the week 10 thing was a little bit of a miss, but I think it's okay. JSN, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, Dontavian Wicks, Isaiah Tesla, Rashad Bateman. So receivers strong, 4 by Mike Evans, crazy strong. You take a long break after that, as you probably should. That feels really good. Receivers very strong. George Kittle, AJ Barner, David Njoku. It's a little on the lighter side, but it's okay. It's okay, especially if you're buying into the Kittle thing. I think it's fine. I feel like on this build, you got to pass on Purdy, though. I know you had the stack, and I know you have the game stack. You have a lot of it built out. I mean, it's okay. I guess you still built it out okay, though. I mean, you're not the running back room is what's really gonna like test it. But if you do have a hit later, like with any of your bottom 3, you could make it through. And it is crazy, like to have all those quarterbacks, you know, like that gives you a lot of outs, and you have stacks with all of them. And like bringbacks, obviously, SF Philly is the game, so you have that whole game kind of built out. I think it's okay. The running backs are a little weaker than I would like. I feel like if Purdy was a running back, I probably like this build more. But at the same time, I do see that you built out a lot of that game. So if you want to go thinner at running back and really buy into that game, just all in on SF Philly, I think it's fine. It's just probably like general structure would be like take a running back over Purdy. All right, then let's check out Super Beast 3672, Jackson Dart, Aaron Rodgers, Geno. That's fine at quarterback. I think that's good overall. You know, you get Dart, it's kind of like your high upside guy up top. Rodgers, kind of the safety net. Geno, kind of another like safe guy, maybe some upside. I think it's fine for 3. You could argue maybe it's a little on the lighter side, but probably not. It's probably fine. You're probably good with these 3 QBs. Then Kyron, Dave Montgomery, Quinshawn, Ramondre, Tyrone Tracy, Mike Washington. So very good running back room. 4 by Ramondre is very strong in general. Like that quite a bit. Get Tracy as a fifth, I think is good. Mike Washington at the end, I don't mind him as an add-on at the end, especially, he'll probably rise a little with the good preseason game, the 50-yard touchdown. So don't mind that pick. So solid running back room. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman, Jaden Higgins. He doubled up Rodgers, Adonai Mitchell, Barry and Brown. I think that's fine. You start with like the two really strong guys up top. You wait a little bit. You get both Pittsburgh guys for your third and fourth. Jaden Higgins is a pretty solid fifth. Wait a while, get these two later. I think that's fine because you went with two really strong guys up top. So I think this capital allocation kind of makes sense. You kind of weaved in and out at receiver. Early capital, kind of got some mid-range guys with these, then went back late with these. I think that's a pretty fine receiver room. Likely and Goddard, maybe a little on the thinner side. You could argue, like, for me, usually I probably add a receiver at the end here, or a tight end at the end. They probably go tight end over Mike Washington, but I think that's like kind of a minor gripe. I think Likely and Goddard are pretty fine as like two as well. It's not too big of a deal to stop with those two. So overall, a pretty solid build though, Keith. I don't see. Yeah, like I think you just went a little bit thinner at the onesies, but your both your skill positions ended up very strong for it. So I think you can definitely get by with these like slightly thinner onesies with Likely and Goddard being a little thinner. And then you have Dart, but then you waited a while for your QB 2 and 3. I think QB and tight end are enough to get by though. And then your skill positions have like very strong pieces and like feel pretty strong overall because of it. So I think it's a pretty good build. I like this build overall, Keith. Or Super Beast. Yeah, pretty solid. But all right, I think we got through them all. We made it. We got through. So, all right, let's catch up a little bit. We'll catch up with the chat a little bit, and then we'll check the poll, and then we'll hop into whatever that draft is. I'm not kind of sure worlds and break hearts. Hell yeah, Jeff. Hell yeah. Respect that. Brother, you will get no help from me. LOL. Damn it, Dragon. Sorry, that's pretty good. Help me defend Emmanuel Wilson. Like you're just like calling on people to help you defend Emmanuel Wilson. Brother, the Emmanuel Wilson hive is smaller. You'd probably have a better chance finding the like Kalani boys out here. Some people really do like George Kalani out here, so you'd probably have a better chance of finding that. To be honest with you, Hilltoppers. Oh, that's you. Okay, we'll check it out. All right. I didn't know you were Hilltoppers for some reason. I've seen you in a bunch of the chats, or especially in like Whohame's chat and stuff. But I guess I never knew the draft name. We'll check it out though. Let me see. Was anyone else in here? Because there were some other ones I wasn't as sure. Okay, no. All right, we'll check out Hilltoppers. 2682. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Oh, I did see that when you picked Joe Burrow. I actually noticed that when you picked Joe Burrow. Okay, so very strong quarterbacks. So I mean that's interesting. Let's see. James Cook, Chase Brown. So you stacked up the quarterbacks with the running backs. Chuba Hubbard, Chris Rodriguez, Alvin Kamara, Tyjae Spears. I think that's a really strong running back room. Yeah, that's definitely a very strong running back room. Like that overall. T. Higgins, Marvin Harrison, Cortland Sutton, Mekhi Lemon, Khalil Shakir, Travis Hunter, Trey Harris, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid, Mike Gesicki. Ooh, man, so you went big stacks, really big stacks on these guys. Did you get any bringbacks? You do any Miami or any Baltimore? No. I would have maybe looked at bringbacks if you're. I guess bringbacks don't really matter though. Let's be real. Yeah, I think tight end is obviously going to be a little weaker. I would have preferred a third tight end. I think I would have preferred a third tight end, probably earlier than Gesicki as well. I probably would have turned like one of these last three receivers into a tight end personally, or like Tyjae Kamara. I probably would have turned either Kamara or Tyjae into a tight end personally, because I think your running backs are pretty strong. So I probably turn one of them into a tight end. I think receiver's actually pretty fine. I think you waited a little bit to get in. You got T as a 1, and then you kind of waited till a little bit later, but really hammering it right here, going like Marvin, Cortland, Mekhi Lemon all in a row, I think kind of saved the receiver room and really like helped out there. So I think receiver actually came back together pretty good. You get Shakir there. Maybe he kind of helps early season if Lemon's kind of coming in slow. Also, Shakir obviously a stack with your Josh Allen. I like the Hunter pick. I like the Trey Harris pick for upside. Keon, I don't mind. He caught a touchdown day. Why not? I don't mind him as a last round pick either. And you had Josh Allen. So I think overall it's actually like pretty solid. I don't mind the big onslaughts. I think that's fine. You are putting a lot of early capital in with it. So like it the only downside of something like this, like the Bengals one, for example, is when you pick T and Chase Brown and Burrow that early, it's just like if they have a bad week or like even if they have a good week, can they all spike in a meaningful enough way to pay off that draft capital that you spent on them? I think that's kind of the question when you're spending that much capital early on the same team. I think it's reasonable though. Like you didn't go way overboard. Like I think Chase Brown and T is fine, and then you got Jasicki at the end, which is also fine. I don't think you went way crazy on it. And like with Buffalo, you got Josh Allen, James Cook, but you didn't get like DJ Moore and Shakir and Keon and Kincaid. You could argue maybe Buffalo you overstacked a little bit more, but I think since the other piece you got are a lot cheaper than James Cook, it's fine. If you would have got DJ Moore on this team instead of like Shakir or Keon Coleman, I think then it might have been a little bit heavy with all those pieces. But I think with as late as the receivers went and with Kincaid going relatively late, it's fine in that sense. Yeah, I think my only real note would probably be I probably put Tajay or Kamara at tight end. That is probably my only real note on this team. I think other than that, I think the big kind of onslaught stacks you did are actually fine. And the rooms look solid enough to me. I think receiver and running back solid enough. So yeah, I think that's fine. I probably just put a running back at tight end. That's probably it. And it's not even like a crazy big gripe. I just think these guys are gonna have a little bit lower floor in general. They're not like full route guys, like really blocking tight ends, so they don't really get on the field like for full routes. So they're a little bit less consistent, like both Jasicki and Kincaid. Um, so yeah, but I mean that's probably my only gripe, and it's at tight end, which is the least important position. So yeah, I think pretty solid team though overall. Hilltoppers or Crumb. Uh, Cash on my ticket tonight. 106 win with Joe Milton going over his prop. Cash. Hell yeah, Value Bengal. Hey, and speaking of the cash, shout out Goofy Chicken. I'm gonna be on with Goofy Chicken and Centex on Wednesday. That's some scary shit. That's worrying. I mean, hey, I gotta give Centex his flowers though. He got me on Caleb. That motherfucker was saying Caleb Douglas, so no one even heard of him. So I will give him that one 100%. I ain't even gonna lie. But I will be on with Centex and Goofy Chicken on Wednesday. So excited for that. I've been watching the show every week, but I don't know. Goofy Chicken hit me up to come on. And I was like, oh man, I better get my exposures right. Or else Centex gonna rip me apart. Hopefully he doesn't know my UD name, so he wasn't looking me up on BBMD. That's some scary shit if he knows my exposures. Joe Money Milton, hell yeah, brother. Oh yeah, but congrats on that hit, by the way. That's a nice hit. I just the cash that made me think of it because obviously he hits that in his little the little video he plays. Goofy Chicken does. Not excited about wide receiver neither. Fair enough. I mean, and hey, you have a lot of young upside guys, so it's fair. They could definitely hit for you. Bailey scores the points of 3 wide receivers combined. Get with the program, Hartman. That is fair, especially with Jordan Tyson having spaghetti in his hamstrings. That's fair. Bailey might be hitting that hard. Money anything gets yeah. That's true. I didn't want to pick Sam Darnold, lol. That's fair. Hey, that's fair. No one really ever does. And I saved you from it by doing the Shaheed Darnold stack. So I had to save you from it. F week 10 RB points. Sam Barnside. Yeah, Sam Darnold kind of blows. Let's be real. Fantasy Fitness loves him, but I'm a hater. I'll always be a hater too. Even if I am picking him in every draft tonight. I forgot I had Swift lol. Okay, that's fair. Hey, that happens to the best of us. I've been there, done that as well. Where I pick or like you had Kenny Gainwell. Like I've gone through phases where I picked more Bucky Irving. So it's like I'll pick Bucky Irving, and then I'm like, oh, Kenny Gainwell's an all right pick here, and then I pick him out. Oh shit, I just handcuffed myself. When I draft, I don't really look at the buy. That was funny on week 10. Yeah, no, I mean, hey, I had a similar room. I had 3 week 11 buys, so I didn't do too much better on it, but yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on when you have quite a few of them. Kalani greater than Gibbs. He's better than Bijan, but I don't know about Gibbs. He's better than Bijan though. I'll give you that much. That truly was a friends and family draft. It really was. AMC, hey Harman. Hey, what's up, AMC? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. Hey AMC. I feel like a better way to do the season is heavy stack versus no stack. Heavy stack. I feel like a better way to do the season is heavy stack versus no stack. I I get oh wait, heavy stack versus no stack. Okay, I think heavy stacking is better than no stacking. I do think you want stacking. I think that's overall beneficial, especially in best ball. Um, yeah, I'd probably agree. If you do like, because if you do uncorrelated teams, what usually can happen with those is like you can advance maybe, but then you just get smoked in the playoffs. So it's like I agree. I would rather heavily stack a team than have like no stacks and just an uncorrelated lineup. Even if I thought that uncorrelated lineup had proper structure, I will say sometimes you're kind of forced into it. Like I did a draft earlier. Meg was doing on Fanspeak Network. Meg was doing boxer drafts, and I did a team. I had Quentin Johnston and Ladd, and then I had fucking CeeDee Lamb. And so it was like all of my receivers, their quarterback got taken because Dak and Herbert both went before me in like the 7th round. So I was like in that one, I was just like backstacking, not correlating much. And it's like, all right, I guess I'm getting my money back in this one. Because yeah, it's just sometimes you get forced into it, but I would agree stacking heavy is better than no stacks. What up, Bayou? You drafting too? Yeah, Bayou was just in there with us. Hell yeah. Yeah, hanging with our guy Hartman. Hey, appreciate it, Bayou. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Oh, yeah, of course, of course. Cyrus Allen had a great catch tonight. I did see that. Yeah, Cyrus Allen looked pretty good tonight. So, the hype, the drum beat's been going for him. I was talking about a little bit earlier, like in the first draft, all the camp hype guys. He's probably the one that I am the least like confident in buying into the hype and wanting to get more exposure to, because the Chiefs do this every year where they have a hyped up prospect. I have heard Cyrus Allen's kind of different. He's not just a gadget guy. Jalen Rose was more of a gadget guy, stuff like that. So I've been picking some Cyrus Allen, but I do feel a little more confident in the picks of like Caleb Douglas, who's the other one? Jacoby Lane is okay. Caleb Douglas is okay. Oh, Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant and Caleb Douglas are probably the ones I want the most of out of all like kind of the hype young guys right now. But I do agree. I want some more Cyrus Allen. Malachi Fields is a good shout too. That's a good shout too, AMC. I've been picking more of him. I actually have a decent little bag of Malachi Fields, surprisingly enough. I was kind of picking him like even early a little bit, and I stopped for a little while. But with the good reports lately, I've been picking a little more. Money just stepped into a Cobra pit. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Money thing. Yeah, no, yeah. Hey, he likes to get people riled up. Money thing. He's an engagement guy. Sam Watts, Chi-Town True. Hey, what's up? What's up, Sam Watts? What's up, Hartman? Hey, what's up, bro? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Hey, Chi-Town True. All right. We made it through the comments. We made it through the team reviews. We made it. Go ahead. I'll give you guys one more second. If you guys want to vote on what we're going to draft next, vote in the poll down below in the chat, and then we'll get right into it. But yeah, so let me go over to the YouTube and I'll end the poll, and then we'll get into whatever wins it. All right, live. Here we go. All right, what won the poll? End it. This is a process. Sorry. All right, looks like Puppy this time. All right. Huh, that's kind of surprising because the BBM like smoked it last time, and then now it's Puppy. All right, don't mind. Hey, hell yeah. Hey, we got 301 subscribers. We crossed the 300 mark. Hell yeah. Shout out you guys. There we go. We got some new subs. We got Roy Nolan and Angry Dragon. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But good to see it. Good to see we crossed the 300 mark. Shout out you guys. Always appreciated. Um, do we want to do I'll put a poll for one more, and then we'll probably do one more after this. We'll see. We'll see. We might not. We'll see if someone else at that point. But Pitbull draft main circle. All right. All right. Sorry. Okay. So the puppy won the poll. We're gonna hop into a puppy. I'll count down just a second. We are going to hop into. Let me see what you guys said. Hey, what's the premier pup? It's a UD promo right now. Draft 5, get a free BBM. Oh yeah, it's soccer. Yeah. No, that's yeah, unfortunate. Soccer. Damn. Draft 5. Wait, draft 5, get a free BBM. How much does it cost? 15. Oh yeah, fuck that. Yeah, no shot. But hey, good looks though. Good looking for it. I mean, it's always good to know if there's a promo in the lobby. Unfortunately, I'm not a soccer guy. But if you are a soccer guy, go rip some premier pups. I mean, That's a decent promo, and it probably isn't even gonna fill anyway. Like, let's be real. That's probably why they're dropping promos for it. So if you do know soccer, that's probably a good draft for you. Congrats on 300, brother. Hey, appreciate it, bye, Bang. Appreciate it. You were here. Well, but always appreciate, always appreciate. Put the boxer on there. The boxer I think is full. It's filled. It's gone. And also I already had done mine. I was done with my boxers already before I even started the stream. Unfortunately, I got all 3 of them in. So we drafted them. I drafted like 2 of them on Fanspeak because they were doing their big stream last night. They were, oh yeah, if you guys didn't check out Fanspeak Network stream last night, they were doing bourbon drinking. I got Meg to sing Renegade by Jay-Z and Eminem. She only did like a little bit of the first verse, but that was plenty. You know, it started the first word in the song, like motherfuckers looking at my bling or something. Like it was good shit. It was good shit. I don't know. They had a pretty good stream, but I was doing some boxers on there with them during the drunk stream. Nugs, would you draft DJ Moore or Cardinal Tate in a full PPR redraft? I already have James Cook. I think it's DJ Moore. I think it's DJ Moore straight up, to be honest. I'm pretty willing to buy in on DJ Moore cooking on Buffalo. I think he'll do well in Buffalo. I only got 2. Oh, damn, that's unfortunate, Ryan. I mean, hey, you still got 2 in. I mean, there's plenty in the lobby, but it's a little unfortunate. You always want a max when those come out. Corgi's almost full too if you didn't get that in a single entry. But most people probably got those in. But all right, I think we've stalled long enough. We've kept you guys waiting long enough. Let's get into the puppy. We're going to count it down. We're going to enter the puppy 3 in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're in the puppy waiting for 8 if anyone wants to hop in. Oh, I'm also going to try. I wanted to try doing like background music with some of my stuff. Okay, wait. I actually just realized too, we're not going to do another draft after this. We're going to call it after this draft because there is a UFC main event title fight. It's Islam Makhachev versus Ian Gary, and I want to see that. So we're ending it after this draft. And I might be trying to get out of here somewhat promptly. So I will say that. I will try to look at the teams as much as we can, but there is also a UFC main event on tonight that I want to see. So oh yeah, but I want to try out some of this. I got some background music I downloaded, so I want to get that popping. Let's see how that sounds. I don't know if it's too loud or not. How's Gary? I got Islam, to be honest. I got Islam Makhachev. I think his wrestling is just going to be too much for Ian Gary. I think it'll be kind of like the Shavkat fight. I guess Shavkat is a better striker than Islam probably, but I think his wrestling will just be too much. I think it'll be a good fight though. I think it's gonna be a hella good fight. I can't even hear the music. What the hell? Okay, that's kind of loud. That's kind of loud. See, we're dialing in the music right now as we draft. All right, this is a good range. All right, there we go. Let me know what you think of the background music. If you love it, you hate it. I don't know if people generally like background music or if they really just don't like it. But let me know what you think. Or if you have no opinion, then that's fine as well. But if people are really hating it, we can also turn it back off. I just I don't know. We're a little deep in the stream. I might go through some periods where I'm a little bit silent for a second because I'm thinking or something like that. So I figured we would get it popping a little bit with the background music. Who won this trade for a dynasty league? What's up, Giant Barks? Stop by, bro. Brian Thomas Jr. and Jordan Mason for a 2027 first and 2028 third round. Oof. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have one dynasty league I play in. I feel like I'm somewhat good at evaluating the players. The draft capital, I'm a little bit sketchy on. A 2027 first, 2028 third. Well, I think 2028 third isn't really worth much. Jordan Mason's not super young. He's like 27. I mean, I feel like I would rather have BTJ than a random first round pick still in a rookie draft because if you get like the 5th or 6th pick in a rookie draft, like let's say this year you got like a middle pick, right? You get like the 6th pick in a rookie draft. Like, what are you realistically getting? Are you getting like Casey Concepcion or some shit? Like, or maybe like, yeah, probably like KC, maybe like Makai Lemon. But it's like, would you want him or BTJ? I think that'd be pretty close. And then I think I prefer Jordan Mason to a 3rd, especially if the team getting the players is trying to win right away or win anytime soon. Then I definitely prefer Jordan Mason to the 3rd. And I think I prefer Brian Thomas to like a mid or late 1st round pick. So I probably go with the players, but I do think it's a pretty fair trade. And it really does depend on where that 1st round pick falls. But I probably lean slightly towards the players. Yeah, but the payout. Because Ian Gary's an underdog. That's fair. How big are the odds on it? What do you have? Islam by decision plus 150. Oh wow, that's not bad. Islam by decision plus 150. That's a good bet to me. I mean, I wouldn't say tail me on UFC bets. I don't bet on UFC very much, but Islam decision plus 150. That sounds like a pretty good line to me, because I feel like if he wins, it'll probably be a decision. He could submit him though. Like Islam could very easily submit Ian Gary. Not easily, but like that's like a very likely outcome, right? That could very realistically be the outcome. So I don't mind that call. Wow, I don't have any Nico Collins with Jamar Chase at all. Oh, in BBM I don't. I never switched it back. Let's just get Drake. Let's just get Drake London then. That's fine. I'm gonna reset my portfolio so it's just all my teams combined. That'll take just a second, but we'll get back on the board after it's updated in a second. Almost like Price versus Wilson. Hey, what do you win when you win? What do you lose when you lose, right? If you're wrong on Emmanuel Wilson, you don't really lose anything because he's free. And when you're right, you win a lot because he's free. So, and Jadarian Price, the opposite, right? He needs to be a big hit for you to win. And and how much do you win when he's already a 6th rounder, right? So, I mean, hey, that's fair. That's fair. I don't hate the call. Do we want some Jeremiah Love or do we want more Breece Hall? We'll just do the rotate deal. Jeremiah Love, that's fine. Jeremiah Love picked up an ankle injury, yesterday. I would say I'm minorly concerned about it, and I do think that's why maybe we'll see him fall a little bit. It didn't sound too serious. It sounds like it'll only, keep him out for maybe like a week or so. So I'm not overly worried, but that's definitely something I'm going to continue to monitor. I'm not going to get like way over my skis on picking him, but I'm also pretty underweight on Jeremiah Love. I think my exposures are all updated. Let's see how much Jeremiah Love I actually have. I have 4% Jeremiah Love in my total portfolio. So, I don't mind grabbing a little bit more if he's falling a little, but definitely just not really a situation I'm buying into. We can actually look at my Cardinals exposures real quick. I wouldn't mind showing that. So Jeremiah Love, we're at 4.6. Trey McBride, we're at 3%. And this is my total portfolio. I think this even includes pre-draft. So this is like my whole like 650 teams or whatever it is. But we're at like 4.6 Jeremiah Love, 3% Trey McBride, 16% Marvin Harrison. I'm pretty bought into Marvin Harrison having that 3rd-year breakout and really kind of showing up in the 3rd year. I think especially as cheap as he goes, I'm willing to make that bet. 0.9% Michael Wilson. Really not a believer in Michael Wilson. I think he was only good when Marvin Harrison was out and when the pass rate was so insane they were throwing like 50 times a game. So really not into Michael Wilson. Algier I like quite a bit. I think he'll split more time than kind of the Jeremiah Love. Kind of my thesis on the Jeremiah Love and Algier, like you can see it just by my exposures really, right? But like I'm kind of betting more that Algier gets more of a split than I think the Jeremiah Love truthers are. I think that's my biggest disconnect, and I think they're not going to be a great team either. So I am just willing to buy more into Jeremiah or more into Algier because he's so much cheaper. If I feel like he's going to get a decent split, I really just don't think they're going to run their like rookie guy into the ground when the team isn't going to be that good to begin with. I could be wrong on that, and I don't want to full fade Jeremiah Love for that reason, but I'm definitely going to get more Algier. Michael Wilson's the closest thing I have to a full fade on that team. I really just believe in Marvin Harrison so much more than him. I'm willing to bet on Marvin Harrison a lot more in that sense. I don't mind it at all. All right, hell yeah. Appreciate it. Music is chill. All right. Like to hear it. You know, I downloaded some like random music that I found. So, you know, hopefully as long as it's not offensive to anyone, happy to hear that. The wide receiver room already looking better than my last year. Yeah, we went wide receiver heavy to start, but yeah, I mean, hey, you got to push the envelope sometimes, right? You never know what's going to win, what kind of what kind of edges you can push, stuff like that. Okay, what do I like here? Cam Scadabo is better than Travis Achan. Yeah, I mean, he's just better than Travis Achan. And Tyrone Tracy let Jackson Dart get absolutely slaughtered on a pass pro rep today. So we can pass on Travis Achan for Cam Scadabo because, you know, that might have helped solidify Cam Scadabo's spot. Not actually. I'm not that worried about Tracy getting blown up on the pass pro rep, but I think Scadabo is going to be the workhorse. I think their offensive system might be not the best, but I do think Scadabo will be the workhorse. I think we saw how big his receiving role can get as well. I'm buying Cam Scadabo. I'm not worried about the injury. I mean, he played in the first preseason game. How could I be worried about the injury realistically? Let's be honest. But okay, Travis Achan at 51 though. I guess. See, this is why my exposures can never get that crazy. This is why they always stay kind of flat. Because I'm just a little like ADP merchant at the end of the day, like any good drafter is for the most part. But it's like I just can't pass it. Like you just give me this ADP value. I tried to pass it. I took Cam Scadabo over Travis Achan, and then these guys on the turn just forced me to take Travis Achan, even though I don't really want to. You know, they just force me into it, and it's unfortunate, but you know, it's just when you give me value, I just can't help it. I'm just a little ADP piggy at the end of the day. So, you know, but I don't know. I like the start. Chase, London, Jeremiah Love, Scadabo, Travis Achan. I think, you know, it's a little bit different for me, but I like it quite a bit. It's an interesting start. You know, some decent little fallers. So always happy with that. Cool. Appreciate your thoughts, dude. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. And any questions? I mean, hey, any questions feel, you know, you're definitely more than welcome to ask them. I would say Dynasty, like, it's mostly the draft picks where, like, I don't feel like I have the greatest understanding of the value of rookie draft picks. I feel like players I can, like, evaluate pretty well, like, based on their age and, like, all that kind of stuff in Dynasty. I feel like I can evaluate it decent. But, like, the draft picks, I feel like, is where it's, like, a little bit more, like, it's just a little shaky. But I feel like it does make sense. And, like, kind of thinking through it, I can at least, like, give my thoughts or how I'm kind of viewing it, right? Or like comparing it to a player, like, oh, a mid first would be like Casey Conception or something, or Makai Lemon. And it's like, how do they compare type thing? What's up, fam? Just smashing like. Hey, what's up, Who Aims? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate it. And if you haven't already, smash the like, hit subscribe. And if you don't know, definitely check out Who Aims. He was just streaming a little bit ago. He probably just got off his stream. But definitely check out Who Aims if you don't know. He's streaming every single day. Hey, who? My team is about to be ass. Nah, hey, I mean, it's too early. It's too early for that. You can still recover. I believe in you. I hate my start, LOL. All right, let's see what you guys were doing. Dirty Milkers. Dirty Milkers is cooking. He was lying. JSM Bowers, Kyron's fine. I don't love Kyron, but that's fine as your third rounder. At 30, he's fine. Josh Allen, DJ Moore, great value on Josh Allen. Then you get DJ Moore back. Come on. That's a good start. Chase Brown, Kenny Walker, Javonte, T. Higgins, Rome, Joe Burrow. I think that's solid. I don't mind the Chase Brown pull up. I love Kenneth Walker. I mean, honestly, if it's me, I'm going Genty. I love me smashing Genty, but yeah, get a little different. Pull up Chase Brown, Walker. I think that's fine. I think Chase Brown's a good pick. I like Walker a ton. Walker's my highest owned second rounder. Yeah. Out of any player in the second round, Walker's my highest owned. I have almost double the field of Kenneth Walker. Javonte at that value is pretty good. I love T. Higgins too. I think T. Higgins is actually a pretty great price where he goes. Rome's fine. Then you get the stack with Burrow. I think that's a fine start. You're doing good. Pretty balanced so far. All right. I get my boy Marvin Harrison. Yeah, I mean, I do like Marvin Harrison. I like Jaden Daniels too. I feel like maybe, like, I don't know. I could pick Jaden Daniels naked, but let's just go Marvin Harrison. Let's get my boy. I've been saying I believe in him. I believe in the breakout. Let's just keep buying into it. I guess we're buying into Arizona on this build. Maybe I will take old Jacoby Brissett, or maybe I'll even get desperate enough to go with Jeff T's idea and pick me some Carson Beck. But But yeah, we'll kind of see how it goes. We'll see how it goes in that sense. But I guess we're buying in on Arizona on this build. Probably be looking at like some Raiders pieces later if we can get them. But I don't know. It feels okay. Not my favorite team to buy into, like I was saying. I don't have very much Arizona, but it's okay. I don't mind it. I do like DK. I do like Jaden Reed. I like Trey Tucker, or not Trey Tucker, Tucker Craft. I like all these picks. Brooks would also be okay, but I don't really think I want more Brooks right now. Maybe I do want more Brooks. Okay, we get DK. DK is a fine pick. I think DK was my other debate there. I was debating if I wanted Brooks since like he's really only going to move up. And like in my total portfolio, I do only have 9%, which isn't that crazy. I will say though, like I do want to look real quick. My pre-draft, like Brooks was going at 150. I was all in on Johnny Brooks. Don't look at the other names on the screen. But Jonathan Brooks, we had 17.5% of them. And then I did 3 bigger boards. I did 3 of the $100 drafts in pre-draft. We got Jonathan Brooks on all 3 of them. We took 100% Jonathan Brooks in the bigger board. So we at least got some like high leverage shares of them and got a lot of them in pre-draft when he was at his cheapest. So that feels good. It's tough now. He's going in a range where it's tough now to like buy in or not. You know what I mean? It's like yeah, it's just, man, like in the 80s is so steep. I get the bet, and like the Panthers usually do have a running back that hits pretty big most years, but it's like, man, the price is getting steep. I will say that. The price is definitely getting steep. Sorry about that. But yeah, the price is definitely getting a little bit steep. Let's go back here. Dirty Milkers gets fallen. Josh Allen and DJ Moore, strong start. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he got good values in that one. I don't have any Walker yet, so I took him. Oh, wow. I'm actually not as high on Walker. That's fair. I mean, if you think he's going to be a little bit more limited and get taken off the field, I think the big argument for Walker, the big like debate point on him where it's like you got to project kind of one way or the other is, will he get a lot of receiving work, right? Will he get a lot of third down work? And if you think he's not very likely to get third down work and they're likely to take him off the field for like the Brashard Smiths, Emmett Johnsons of the world, then I think it's a reasonable case to be against Walker. Or if you just overall bet on the Chiefs, if you think that the Chiefs have like implosion risk as a team, I think those are the best cases to me against Walker. Because I do think he will dominate the goal line touches. I really think he got taken off the field a lot in Seattle because I think Charbonnet is good, and I don't think the Chiefs have anyone of Charbonnet's talent level. So that's why I'm so willing to buy in on Walker. But I do think there's certain risks with the Chiefs that either the whole team kind of implodes, right? You know, the receivers like just can't really get it done, and then Mahomes coming off the injury, he can't run around, scramble, do his magic as much. Or if you're betting that Walker loses a lot of that receiving work. But I do think in general, I'm just willing to bet on him being kind of the workhorse. And they have been talking a lot about using him more in the receiving game. So that's kind of giving me even more confidence in him. I like Laporta. I like Laporta quite a bit. I do like Blake Corum. I do kind of want more Blake Corum. But I like Laporta. And I kind of like that opens me up to Goff. I don't really have any good quarterback outs. I feel like my best one is Rodgers right now. So I really wouldn't mind just going Laporta and then getting Goff on the turn. I like Jackson Dart a ton too. I like Purdy, but I don't have any stacks. I would really like to get more Purdy. Seeing I only have 7% of him is a little surprising, but I also really like Dart and I really like Bo Nix. So it makes some sense to me why I have less Purdy because I like the quarterbacks around him. But I would like to get more Purdy. That would be nice. I love Bo Nix's price. I think he's a great price. Okay, so Dart goes. That's fine. Did he have? He had Neighbors. That makes sense. But yeah, we'll pull up Goff if he's there, probably because I don't think he'll make it back, and it does make sense for the stack. I do like that Blake Corum price though. Do I want to pass on quarterback and really try to push it? I don't think so. I think that's going to be too dangerous. I think that'd be a mistake to do. The Blake Corum price is pretty enticing though. But I feel like my running backs are strong enough. I got good values on ETN and Scatabo. I should just lean into those values. I don't need to force another running back, even if it is another pretty good price. We'll get the quarterback. We'll lock that down. I don't want to get left behind and just be totally cooked at quarterback. You know, maybe it comes back and there's some decent options, but maybe there's not. So I want to get Goff locked in. I want to do that. That feels pretty good. Bayou Bengal is a heavy RB drafter. My draft hurts my soul right now. All right, let's check it out. Bayou Bengal must have took it to heart when last time I was going on his receivers a little bit. So let's see. CD Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, David Montgomery, P. Wash, Jadarian Price, Rico Dowdle, Dak Prescott. I think that's a nice balanced build, Bayou. And I mean, you got 3 running backs by Rico still. Like you're not too far behind at all. I think you're in a good spot. And then, yeah, you got Dak on a great value too. Dak at 88. Bro, I did a draft earlier. I was doing my boxer earlier. I couldn't even get Dak at 81. I had this I damn near the same start. They wouldn't even give me Dak in the 7th round. Meg actually took him from me. But no, I think you're doing fine. And then you get Mason as a 4th. Your running back room's solid, dude. I think this build feels like pretty great. Trying to push the midget quarterback maybe. Get him doubled up. That'd be nice. But yeah, no, I think your running backs are pretty solid now. All right. What are we looking at? Let's change up the song a little bit. Let's change up the song. We were listening to Deadly Roulette. Let's listen to Crowd Hammer. I don't know what Crowd Hammer sounds like. That sounds kind of interesting. I listened to these before I loaded them in, but I can't remember which one's which at this point, to be honest with you. But yeah, but hopefully, but yeah, if any of them are bad, let me know. We'll delete it. We have a big catalog we can pick from that's like royalty free. So all right. Well, I was listening. Okay, you had Chris Olave that time. All right. I was like, he can't keep getting away with it. You can't keep picking Shuck around ahead on stack, especially when you had the stack with Kyler. But okay, you had Chris Olave that time. Perfectly reasonable pick. I like the pick. That fits good with Dak there. I like that. Okay, what do I want here? Do I want Kyler Murray on stack? People love to hate Kyler Murray. They love to hate him. This guy's probably gonna pick him if I don't, right? So I want Kyler Murray. Yeah, I want Kyler Murray. We're going to take Kyler Murray here. We're going to take Kyler. And then I'm going to take a receiver next. I was just kind of looking. I like all these receivers, like probably all 5 of these. I even like Shaheed as well. But like, I like all these receivers. So I'm not really worried about who I get back. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So I think grabbing the quarterback first makes sense. And then I just feel totally safe at quarterback now. I have the on-stack Kyler. I have Goff stacked with the tight end. Like I said, we might be looking at Jacoby Brissett late. We might get Rodgers late. We'll probably throw on a late quarterback here, but it feels pretty good so far. The Aaron Jones pick, I don't mind. I do have a little bag of Aaron Jones, which is fine. But I should probably go receiver. I want to still lean into these good 3 running backs I got early. I think Dobbs and Conception, I like them both. But to me with Dobbs, I guess it's just the offensive difference, right? Like when I buy into Conception, I'm buying into a terrible offense with terrible quarterback play where I don't really believe in any of them. I want Shadur Sanders to be good. I want to go wrist up and have 20% Shadur Sanders and say he's going to be the greatest, but it's just probably not the case where Drake May might actually be the greatest, right? I mean, Drake May might end up being the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he might be the best quarterback in the NFL right now for all we know. I mean, he was almost the MVP last year, right? As a second-year player. So, like, just getting a player attached to Drake May versus a player attached to a quarterback that we don't even know who's going to start, right? Deshaun Watson or Shadur Sanders, one of the two. And, I think that's just what pushed me slightly at Dobbs. They've been talking about also using Dobbs in the slot more, using him in that big slot role. If they do that, that could get him some really easy layup targets, get him some higher usage in that sense. Kind of like they were doing with Diggs last year. They kind of schemed him up for more usage. Obviously, they paid Dobbs a huge contract. They have plans for him, hopefully. So I think I want to tend to lean towards him over like the Jaden Higgins, KC Conceptions, just because I have so much more confidence in that New England offense, right? And why wouldn't you, of course? So I think I want to lean into Dobbs a little bit there. Love over Murray. I think in a vacuum, that's fine. I think to me on stacked, I tend to lean more towards the running quarterback. So that's what kind of pushes me towards Kyler. And I will say the one thing with Jordan Love is he really has no backstack options like whatsoever. Like, because when you look at it, like once Golden's gone, the next Packer I think is Marshawn Lloyd, and I think that's the only one that like regularly gets drafted. Obviously, you can take shots on like Savion Williams and stuff like that, which I think is fine here and there if you really wanted to. But I think the problem with Jordan Love is he doesn't run very much, and he doesn't have any backstack options really. So I tend to just like not even like think of the specific player, but like game theory wise, I guess I tend to lean towards the rushing quarterback because like in a playoff week, if Jordan Love hits, it's most likely with the receivers, where Kyler could in theory hit without bringing along his top pass catchers. And Kyler's like best pass catcher is a first round pick. So like Jefferson could go for like 15 to 20 and still not be like the slate breaker because he costs so much, right? Where like Jordan Love, if he hits, it's probably with one of those receivers. That's a pretty reasonable price. So like, I think to me, like game theory wise, I tend to lean towards Kyler, but I don't really disagree. I think Jordan Love is probably a better pick slightly. I think it's really close. I think they're really comparable. Well, I like Denzel Boston quite a bit. Yeah, let's grab Denzel Boston. I don't even like Woody Marks that much. I think Woody Marks is a good value where he goes because like it's a guy who will get touches and he goes pretty late and he's kind of the end of that tier because then you know, we get to more like pure contingent plays. Maybe Jonah Coleman isn't a pure contingent play. Maybe I should get more at him, but like Bigsby is, you know, like Woody will actually get some touches. Tyjae will get some touches. Charbonneau's coming off torn ACL. You know, I think it's a lot of just contingent guys after Woody, where I feel like he has more of a chance to be like a 1B than some of those other guys. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting some Jonah Coleman. Not looking at quarterback yet. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting some Jonah Coleman. I don't have very much. I've been pretty low on him, but if the news sounds good on him, if I am fading RJ Harvey for the most part, you know, I am buying in on Dobbins, like I said, but I think Coleman could have some more upside as well. Coleman or Tank Bigsby, probably Jonah Coleman to get more exposure. You know, like Tyjae in a vacuum, I think I might even prefer to both these guys, but Tyjae's team also sucks. The Broncos are a great team. The Titans are probably a bad team with a bad O-line. The Broncos probably have the best offensive line in football. If not the best, they're like a top 3 offensive line. The Broncos are. So I don't mind getting more Jonah Coleman, even if maybe it is a little bit more competition in the backfield. All the reporting on him has been great. I should get a little bit more exposure. I think Packers are going to be more pass heavy this year. I could definitely see that, especially with Jacobs getting older, if they do want to save him a little bit more for later in the year. I will say if Marshawn Lloyd can stay healthy, maybe that helps them run like they like you know, like LaFleur likes to. But I do think there's a chance they're more pass heavy. I think to me, it's almost a little bit more of a game theory play of like the more pass heavy guy versus the more rush heavy guy, and like how they can hit with and without their pass catchers when I'm taking them on stacked. But I do think that I don't mind the call of Love over Kyler in a vacuum. I think that's fine. I just only tend to take Love stacked, where like Kyler behind ADP, sometimes I'll just grab him on stacked. But you know, maybe that could be a little bit of a flaw in my game. I do think in general in the playoff weeks, if you have a guy who doesn't rush much and he's on stacked, he's very unlikely to help you in those playoff weeks though. It's more of an advance rate piece at that point. And I feel like Kyler could realistically hit for me in the playoff weeks, where Jordan Love, it just feels a lot harder without him bringing along a pass catcher that I don't have, right? Which maybe I'm the only one in my pod with him. But if I'm not, and he brings along a pass catcher and they have the pass catcher, they actually have a stack, then I'm kind of at a disadvantage if Jordan Love's the guy that hits in general, right? Or if he hits in a finals week and he's on stack, then I'm like almost assuredly at a disadvantage. Where if Kyler hits, it might not really bring along a pass catcher in a significant way. But I do think it's fair to have Jordan Love over Kyler. I don't even think I disagree with that call. It's one of those things where like it usually like my stacks dictate which one I pick, especially in that range. So it's not something I guess I've thought through a ton as far as like the quarterbacks that late. Because usually I let my stacks dictate it. And like I said, if I don't have a stack, I tend to lean towards the rushing guy. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't hate the call. And I think I do agree with you that Jordan Love is definitely way safer than Kyler, like no doubt. I think that Kyler has a higher ceiling on the Vikings offense, but I think Jordan Love is way safer and has a way better floor and has a pretty good ceiling as well. So yeah, I don't know. I don't dislike that call at all. All right. Let's go. Ooh, Tajay would be good if I got Tajay here. But okay, Tajay or Travis Hunter? Probably Tajay, right? Sorry. Tajay and then be done. I think Tajay then be done. It feels good. Yeah, we'll do that. Tajay Spears then be done. I think that feels pretty good overall if I do that. So we'll do Tajay. I think we're done at running back now. We have Love, Scadabo, Travis Etienne, Jonah Coleman, Tajay Spears. So that's fine. Hey, by the way, do you guys hate it when I say Travis Etienne? Because I saw people on Twitter not talking about me, but they were talking about just like people who say that. And they said people say Travis Etienne to try to sound smart. I promise you I'm not trying to sound smart when I say it. I don't know. I just say it because I think it's kind of funny to call him Travis Etienne. But I don't know. Does that annoy people? Because like I can not say Travis Etienne also. But I don't know. I didn't know it annoyed people, and I saw it on Twitter. People were complaining. They're like, everyone's calling him Travis Etienne, trying to sound smart, like they know this and that, blah blah blah. I was like, whoa, I didn't know people had this perception. All right. And the fight is live. It's going crazy right now. We're keeping an eye on Makachev versus Ian Gary. Travis Hunter's a great value here. Wow, Travis Hunter's a crazy value here. Holy shit. That's a great value. I should probably go with a tight end, but let's just get Travis Hunter. Fuck it. Let's just go Travis Hunter, 7th receiver. That feels really strong. I really like that. Big fall on Travis Hunter. I definitely have been buying more Travis Hunter, to be honest. I'm pretty in on him in general. I am, I just feel like the spike weeks could be there, right? And especially as late as he goes, like he's my wide receiver 7 on this build. Even in most builds I get him, he's like my wide receiver 6. So I feel pretty good getting Travis Hunter. I think he's just a solid pick where he goes. I think, all right, here's what we're going to do. I do want to get off pretty quick after this draft. I'm going to look at the teams a little bit as we're going through these last rounds because there's a lot of you in here. I do want to like look at your teams. Oh, wait. Ian Gary might have just got knocked out. No, he's good. He's still alive. Yeah, so we're going to look at the teams as we're getting through these last rounds so that I can get out of here pretty quick after the draft ends. Because they are in the second round. They're fighting. They're brawling it out. I want to see how Islam and Ian Gary goes. Looks like Islam's kind of whooping his ass a little bit, if I'm being honest, as expected. I don't know if this is going to decision, Keith. It looks like Islam might be finishing him. I don't know if Ian Gary knows what he's doing on the ground. But all right, let's look at the teams a little bit. We'll save Johnny Barks for the end since I haven't looked at any of his teams yet. Let's check out what Bayou Bengal is doing. We already know he's throwing Devon Bailey on at the end, so we already kind of know the build a little bit. He has a 2.653. He started a little bit later at running back, like you said, so he got some volume. CeeDee Lamb, Jefferson, Olave, P-Wash. Took a big break after P-Wash. And then got Caleb Douglas as your 5th. That's probably okay because you spent a lot of capital early on your top 4. That's probably fine at receiver. Monty, Price, Rico, Jordan Mason, C-Rod. You recovered at running back. Brian Robinson as your 6th even. I think you recovered really well at running back. Running back looks strong on that team by you. Juwan Henry, TJ Hawkinson. I think that's a good enough tight end room. It's a little bit on the like none of them are crazy strong, but I think those 3 together, that feels good. You just go 3 in a row right in that pocket. That feels pretty good. And then you got Dak and Chuck. Dak and Chuck's fine to stop at 2. You might go for a 3rd later. I'm not sure, but that'd be fine for 2. Find out on a 3rd dart throw later as well. So kind of however you want to go there. Ooh, okay. I like Aaron Rodgers. I like Cyrus Allen. I need a tight end though. This guy needs a tight end. Okay, neither of them is going to take a quarterback. So I'm going to take Pat Freiermuth first, and then we'll take Aaron Rodgers on the way back. That's the way to do it. That's definitely the way to do it because these guys both have 3 quarterbacks. If he took Gunnar Helm, he might have taken Pat Freiermuth. I don't know. But I doubt they take Rodgers, so I can just get him as my 3rd quarterback, and I'll have him stacked with DK and Pat Fry. So that feels pretty good. And then I'll end it with like a tight end scroll, most likely. That's probably going to be the plan. So, all right, the round's about to end. Ooh, damn. Islam just need him in the head. That was pretty clean. Yeah, Islam's kind of beating the shit out of this guy. I got to be honest with you. How's my team in 10-team PPR redraft? Drake May, Jonathan Taylor, HA and AJ Brown, Pickens, K9, Fannin. Damn, you're cooking. You're cooking, Sir Dinesh. I mean, you've come in. I think you've come in with this team a few times. I know you're doing trades and stuff. Like, I'm not like nothing bad. Like, but this team's pretty strong. I'm just saying. I think I've said it before, but yeah, this team is pretty fucking strong. You know, you got 2 like top tier running backs, 2 top tier receivers, and K9. You got 3 top tier running backs. Fannon's a good tight end. Drake May is arguably the best quarterback outside of Josh Allen. I think your team looks very strong, Sir Dinesh. I'm a fan of the squad. This son of a bitch took a 3rd quarterback. No fucking shot, dude. No shot you took a 3rd quarterback right now. Do I want Mendoza? Yeah, give me Mendoza. Why not? Man, I can't believe this guy took a 4th quarterback. Are you shitting me? Jaden Daniels, Jackson Dart, Bryce Young, Aaron Rodgers. Really? Really, brother? And you have 4 running backs. Really? And one of them, J.K. Dobbins, we already know his ass is getting hurt. Really, brother? Son of a bitch. Okay, we take Mendoza last round. For some reason, Mendoza's falling a bunch. I don't know. It's like Kirk's going to start all year or something now. He wasn't before, but now he is, I guess. I don't really think Kirk's going to start all year. I think Mendoza will take over at some point. I don't mind him for late season upside. I don't have any Vegas pieces. That was a little bit of a panic pick. I read the room before the turn, I thought neither of these guys were going to take Rodgers, so I thought I already had that pick kind of planned out. Turns out I didn't. So, my bad there, I guess. But yeah, that's fine. All right, we looked at Bayou. Let's check out Super Beast. CMC, so you have 5 running backs: CMC, Tootin, Brooks, Tyrone Tracy, Woody Marks. That's a good 5 RB room, right? You get a hero up top. You get 2 kind of mid-range guys, Tootin and Brooks, with high upside, but kind of mid-range guys. And then you just get 2 split backfield guys for your 4th and 5th. I think that's pretty strong, actually. Higgins, Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman, Jaden Higgins, Jalen McMillan, Cyrus Allen, Jerry Jeudy. That's a pretty good 8 receiver room. I mean, you got 3 really early, 3 studs. Even 4th is Pittman, I think is good. 5th is Higgins is good. I think it's some volume upside swings late. I like that. You got Gadsden and George Kittle. Tight end a little bit thinner. Wouldn't mind a 3rd tight end on here probably, but it's okay with Gadsden and Kittle. Maybe just a little bit thinner, kind of lower floor with those guys. And then you got Purdy and Jalen Hurts. Strong QB room, like that for 2. Obviously the same game stacks. You're kind of buying in a lot into that single game, but like that quite a bit for QB. Like, it's definitely strong enough at QB, no doubt. So that's pretty solid. So yeah, pretty solid team, Super Beast. I think that's pretty solid. Maybe just maybe grab a 3rd tight end if you can. If you don't like any, it's fine. Go a different position. But I'd probably throw on a 3rd tight end personally. Heavy hitters: Paulino, Puka, AJ Brown, Tet, Jamo, Makai Lemon, KC Conception, Pat Bryant, Jacoby Lane. Damn, do you have a really, really strong receiver room? Really strong receiver room. Breece Hall, Tony Pollard, Blake Corum, like that top 3. Dylan Sampson, Jaden Blue, just some upside darts late. I think that's fine at running back. You're pretty solid overall. And then you got Kincaid and Cade Otton. A little bit on the weaker side tight end as well, but that's okay. Bo Nix and Drake May. That's a good quarterback room. I like those 2. You actually did the same thing. You did the game stack with your quarterbacks, which I don't mind that play. You're just buying like really heavy into that game, but I think that's fine. I like both quarterbacks at cost. So solid team. Paulino, Eli Raridan at the end with your Drake May. Don't mind that as a 3rd tight end. You both went 3rd tight end, which I think was the right pick for both your builds. We're going to do Michael Mayer. I would like a little bit more Michael Mayer. I think this fits this build really well. Against Mendoza. Let's get some Michael Mayer in there. I think they're going to run a ton of 12 personnel. I think there's a good chance he's even the 2nd receiving option on that team. Like maybe even over Trey Tucker. A little hard to say, but maybe. And there's obviously big contingent upside if Bowers misses time. So I think that feels all right. All right, let's check out the other teams really quick, and then we're gonna get out of here. Dirty Milkers 2682, Josh Allen Mahomes, strong QB room. Kyron, RJ Harvey, got the RJ Harvey again. Hell yeah, representing. But no, that's fine. Kyron, RJ Harvey, Ja'Cory, Tyler Algier, Alvin Kamara, Emmett Johnson. I think that's pretty solid. You know, you got kind of your hero up top. You get two like solid split time guys. Maybe they take over into a bigger role, have big upside. I think that's fine for your top three. And then just later, you know, some split time guys with Kamara and Algier. You have some upside if injuries happen, anything like that. And then just a contingent guy with Emmett. And that's fine at running back. JSN, DJ Moore, Jordan Tyson, Jacoby Myers, Juwan Jennings, Kayshon Boutte, Darnell Mooney, Ted Hurst, Brock Bowers, Brent Strange. Tight ends obviously very strong with Brock Bowers up top. Receiver probably fine. You know, I'm a little bit nervous on Tyson right now with the hammy, but I think it's fine if you want to buy in. Say it's a little more minor for right now. I think Jacoby as your fourth is fine. Would have maybe liked a little bit better fifth, but you did get volume behind it. Your top four are pretty good, so I think it's fine overall. Receivers okay. Running backs okay as well, but you also got double elite onesies. I think that's just kind of part of the build when you do Josh Allen and Brock Bowers, right? You have double elite onesies, but I think neither of your running back or receiver rooms feel like very weak. They feel like just okay. They feel fine, but then you have the number one tight end, number one QB. So I think overall pretty solid build. You know, I think you built out of the double elite onesie pretty good. Let's check out Digger. And then we'll check out Hilltoppers and Johnny Barks. Then we're heading out. 3582 for Digger. Stafford, Love, Jones. That's a solid 3 QB room. Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Chuba, Rashad White, Marshawn Lloyd. Like this running back room quite a bit. I think Chuba as a third feels good. I think his current price feels pretty good now that he's fallen some. I think Rashad as your fourth feels good. Lloyd just as an upside contingent guy feels good too. Oh, with Jacobs, that's fine to handcuff yourself. I think that's fine. Not my favorite, but it's okay. And then like your top two a lot, two like strong double anchor. Monroe, Devontae, Brian Thomas, Josh Jones, Trey Tucker, Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Keenan Allen. That's a solid receiver room, you know, strong top four. I like Trey Tucker a lot actually. And then, you know, you get some chaperones late, maybe kind of just help you in the early season, stuff like that. I think that's fine. You know, maybe you could argue you want a little bit more upside pieces because you went with a lot of kind of older guys like at the end. But I guess Tank Dell's upside, so that's fine. Trey Tucker's kind of upside too. Actually, yeah, no, that's fine at receiver. Brad Ferguson, that's fine at tight end with the elite, and then Ferguson for the big upside weeks. Yeah, pretty solid team, Digger. I actually like this team quite a bit. No real weaknesses. Receiver feels pretty good. Running back feels strong. Got an elite tight end. Yeah, pretty strong team, Digger. I like this quite a bit. We looked at Bayou. What did Bayou end it with? We'll check that real quick. He ended it with Vele and Keon as expected. All right, yeah, no, pretty solid team, Bayou. I like it. Yeah, Hilltoppers, Johnny Barks. Hilltoppers 3573, Herbert, Geno, Watson. And would have maybe liked a little bit better second QB. That makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. You know, I'm not the biggest Geno believer, but if you really think there's no chance Geno gets benched, I think it's fine. And I'm not the biggest Deshaun guy, but, you know, let's say you have some Cleveland on here, I hope. Harold Fannin, yeah, that's fine. That's fine to go Deshaun for a third QB. I don't mind that. Saquon, Omarion, Trevion, Kenny Gainwell, Keaton Mitchell. Very strong running back room. Very strong there. Lad McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Carnell Tate, Chris Godwin, Khalil Shakir, Omar Cooper, Trey Harris. I like the receiver room a lot too. Very strong, like top four, very good. Khalil Shakir is a fifth, solid. Omar Cooper has a sixth, is solid. Yeah, Trey Harris has a seventh, even. It's really strong. So yeah, very strong receiver room and running back room. Fannin, Sadiq, and Njoku. So you go kind of the top guy with Fannin. Then just some upside swings like weekly with Sadiq and Njoku. I think that's solid. Yeah, I think solid team. It's really just going to rely on quarterback room. If Geno can stay as a starter all year, or if Deshaun can somehow, then I think you're really cooking. And Herbert can probably carry the room for the most part anyway. I'm a pretty big Herbert fan, so you got a lot of stacking with Herbert and stuff too, which I like. And with Geno, obviously, with Garrett and all that, and Sadiq and Omar. Yeah, no, like that. Very correlated. I think it's pretty solid. It's really just quarterback is going to be your pinch point. And I think if those guys stay starting after Herbert, then like you could be very, very strong. The rest of this team looks really solid. So like that quite a bit. Johnny Barks, 3483, so hyper fragile. Joe Burrow, Malik Willis, Sam Darnold. That's a good quarterback room. Obviously, that's strong. You know, got the double week 6. So you got good Darnold to cover it. I like that. Got him at a value. But strong quarterback room, big upside there, and like solid, you know, consistent guy with Burrow as well. Chase Brown, Walker, Javonte, Aaron Jones. I think that's good enough for the hyper fragile. I would try to, in general, avoid going like a double bye week of any kind with hyper fragile, but it's not the end of the world by any means. You know, especially having it like a double week 6 where it's early. Ken Walker and Javonte could definitely cover that bye for you, so that's fine. It's a fine 4 QB room or 4 running back room. You know, a little lighter than maybe I would prefer, but it's fine as a 4 running back room. T. Higgins, Rome Odunze, Cortland Sutton, Matthew Golden, Stephon Diggs, Jalen Naylor, Cooper Kupp, Antonio Williams. Yeah, no, that's solid. I mean, 5 by Diggs is very solid. I like that quite a bit. And then just some upside swings later, you know, with Naylor and Antonio Williams, kind of the chaperone with Kupp. I think that's a solid receiver room. Kraft, Dulcich, Barner, very good tight end room, like that quite a bit. Or, you know, solid tight end room, especially with Kraft up top. Got him at a little bit of value as well. So yeah, this is a solid team. I think the running back room is like on the borderline for a hyper fragile, but going 3 straight to start does give you the freedom. You know, you don't need to go 4 straight, so you did push a little bit. And I think that's fine. Aaron Jones is a guy who should be consistently getting a decent workload on that offense. So I think it's okay as a 4 running back room. I think it's totally reasonable. Yeah, pretty solid team. But yeah, solid teams all around. I mean, pretty solid teams all around in here, to be honest. But all right, I think we checked everyone out. We got through it. We'll catch up with the chat real quick, and then we'll probably be heading out. Or OL can't run block. That's true for Ken Walker. That's true. That is a little bit of a concern. Their offensive line is looking a little bit shaky. I will admit that too. My plus 150 on Islam via decision is looking like a lock. It is looking like a lock. He's looking pretty good right now. He's just grinding out Ian Gary right now, to be honest. I'm watching it on my phone, so I'm not like too worried about it. This is how I watch the small stuff anyways. So but yeah, he's just kind of grinding them out, to be honest. Reed, Watson, and Kraft didn't even play together last year. I think their offense as a whole could be a sleeper. I think that's fair. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, they did lose Dobbs and Wicks, but Dobbs and Wicks maybe aren't the most talented guys. I think that's fair. It's just LaFleur's always been so run heavy. You know, he's one of the very few like high-end offensive coaches who are very run heavy. Because usually those kind of coaches are like not as efficient, don't score as much, but he's been just very efficient with like playing off the run game and playing off play action with lower pace of play. But that is true. They could go a little more pass heavy, maybe with that, maybe with like those guys, and with Jacobs already dealing with the injury. If Jacobs is like, you know, Jacobs is 29 now, he could be slowing down a little. He's dealt with injuries the last couple of years in a row, so yeah, I don't mind the call, and especially later in the year, Jacobs kind of broken down, so maybe they do go away from him a little bit. FMC, what you want? Oh yeah, and I asked everyone to pronounce it that way. LOL. Oh, the A-Chain thing, the Travis A-Chain thing. Yeah, you know, I just let some people complain about. I just don't like. I just think it's funny to call him A-Chain. I don't know. When I first saw him do it, I legit thought he was doing like a bit. I didn't realize it was a real thing. This music makes me feel like I'm playing Zelda. LOL. Oh yeah, the crowd hammer. That's the Zelda music. All right. Good to know. We're gonna mess with the music a little bit more too. We got a lot of options. We'll mess with it a little bit in the next couple of streams. Hunter is better in home leagues. If he has a 0, you can drop him. I've seen that take. What's up, Carlos? Go. Thanks for my bro. I've seen that take, and I do understand that, but like, I just don't know if like when I pick Travis Hunter personally, my personal thought on Travis Hunter, especially the way they were talking about him being used in certain packages and certain looks, is kind of more like there will be certain weeks where he's playable, and there will be a lot of weeks where he's probably not playable. I think the weeks where he's playable, he could spike pretty big, but I don't think we see the same thing as last year where his snap, like last year we saw it really early in the year. He didn't get a ton of snaps. He wasn't like super viable. And then we saw his snap share increasing until he got hurt that last week. He was at like almost 90% snaps by then. But this year, I don't know if we see that same thing or if we just see him more in like purposeful packages, and then just some weeks when he hits that big play, especially if he is used more on the outside, I think it could just be more kind of like boom bust usage. So I don't know. That would be my only real pushback on it. I don't mind that call. I have seen that call. I've seen Adam Silva have that call for or not Adam Silva, Adam Levitan for ETR. I combined Adam Levitan and Adam Silva. But the ETR guys, I've seen them have that take a little bit, so I don't hate that call, but I disagree a little bit with that. Needs to get mine. It sucks. We got through it. We still got through it. I enjoyed your stream tonight, broski. It was fun for sure. Always a pleasure. Oh yeah, hey, shout out Pirate Bangle. Hey, and if you're looking for a stream early in the morning, Bayou Bengal's going to be on at like 7 a.m. Pacific time or something, maybe even earlier, 6 a.m. Pacific time. But Bayou Bengal will be on tomorrow morning. He's always on in the morning, so definitely go check him out if you don't know. Always good stuff over on Bayou Bengal's channel. And if you want to watch some more streams right now, nice and blunt live right now, so definitely go check him out. You know, go watch more streams right now, but definitely go check out Bayou Bengal if you don't know. We'll drop him a sub. We'll actually we'll drop Bayou Bengal's link real quick. If you don't know, definitely go check him out. Definitely a friend of the channel. I always enjoy watching Bayou Bengal. He's very entertaining. He was the first guy on Vele, so definitely go check him out if you don't know. And he's live most mornings. I love Trey Tucker for best ball, especially. Me too. I love Trey Tucker for best ball. I tried to give you the winner, brother. I appreciate it, Keith. I wasn't able to claim it. You know, when I'm on stream, I'm not drafting my best teams generally, but I appreciate you trying to help me out. He's A-chain because he's dope and going to a crap the good old line. Hey, I love me some Tyler Shuck. I love me some Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck might not be the best, but I think Kellen Moore can bring the best out of most quarterbacks. So I believe in Kellen Moore. I think Tyler Shuck's good enough to make the system work, but I think Kellen Moore's system can make a lot of quarterbacks look good. So I don't mind that call. But all right, hey, thank you guys for showing up, drafting with me, chatting. Always a good time, always appreciated. And if you want to watch more drafts like this one, check out Nice and Blunt. If you don't know Bayou Bengal's channel, go over there, subscribe. He'll be streamed tomorrow morning. But thank you for stopping by, drafting, chatting. Peace.